morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I'm Jacob Avillion. I am joined, of course, as always, by my wonderful friend, Brayden McClellan.
What's up?
One of us, and it's not me, just turned 21 years old yesterday, so
that's
happy
correct.
belated birthday, good sir.
Thank you.
And how was it? How did you have a good birthday?
Super chill. Super chill.
Good.
Just met up, just had family for lunch at Chili's. Always go to Chili's for my birthday.
Fuck yeah.
Fucking love Chili's.
Hi, welcome to Chili's.
Yeah.
Now,
iconic.
keen-eyed, hi buddy, keen-eyed viewers may notice that my camera quality is just a little better this week than it was
Yeah,
last
it's a
week.
little.
And that also my microphone, you can't pick up on my as much as you probably could in previous episodes.
I missed
And
that.
Also, my cat is much more visible right now than he normally is, but that is of no fault of the camera. That's just, he decided he wanted to join me up here today. Hi,
Yeah.
buddy. So we're gonna be doing the face cam probably every week now, I guess. I don't see why we wouldn't.
I would assume so.
I would assume so, because it's not gonna look like shit on my end anymore. So I'm not holding us back.
Somebody got a little tech upgrade.
So yeah, somebody dropped a band or two on some equipment. So we're moving. We're moving up in the world. I feel pretty good about it. I've got some more content coming down the pike here. It's gonna be some music-related content coming along the way, including a top 50 albums of 2023. And yes, I have listened to that many already from this year. And there are more coming out just this month that I will be listening to. I know Danny Brown's dropping in November. Could Danny Brown become the first rapper to ever drop Album of the Year twice in the same year? Because Scaring the Hose, spoiler alert, is definitely in my top 10 and gotta be higher than that. I'm not gonna say where, but phenomenal album. And he just released a single for his new one.
The video you're teasing right now is too far down the line. We need Avillion Talks sooner.
Well, boy, do I have something special for you.
Ooh.
So, I have been live streaming games lately. I streamed both last night and the night before. Brayden was in my comments section on both streams, so shout out.
Yeah, disappointed in him?
Sure.
Very disappointed.
I was streaming Deep Rock Galactic 2 days ago, and I was streaming Deep Rock Galactic last night, except I was actually just streaming my face, because I forgot to downsize my face cam, because I did some kind of test after my first day live streaming, just to see how my face cam was.
I saw that.
Like, wide. Yeah, you didn't fucking tell me.
I thought, no, because I didn't know you were playing. What I assumed was you had started the stream up, because I joined in immediately, so I assumed you had just started the stream up, you were doing some pre-stuff, but streaming, because I see a lot of streamers do that, and then you switch into the game. So that's what I thought was happening.
No, I played the game.
Football was on, so I joined in, liked the stream, said what's up, and I went back to watching football.
I played for 45 minutes before I realized that my camera wasn't on. My camera was the only thing that was showing. And then,
that's funny.
5 minutes later, we decided we were going to play Rainbow Six Siege instead. So the Siege stream went well last night. Somebody I know, a friend of mine, joined in on the chat. He was there for quite a while, so that was good. And but as far as actual videos go, I have one that I'm working on. I have mostly written the script for it, and I'll be recording sometime and uploading sometime this week. Top 10 David Bowie albums. There is no better way to start off making videos about music than by first talking about the guy that I named this little bugger after. So, shout out Bowie. Shout out the other Bowie.
But I guess back to the streams real quick.
Yes, sir.
We'll be streaming something together.
We sure will.
Soon? Tomorrow?
Potentially starting tomorrow. Hopefully
Maybe?
Starting tomorrow.
Which would be today if you're watching
Which
this.
would be today, yeah. Today and like a couple of hours from now.
If I think I'll be available. I know I'll be available.
Yeah, I should be too. I don't think I have anything else going on.
So we might be doing something.
We might be doing something really fun. We might be live streaming.
I think we've talked about it specifically.
I think we haven't told them the update. So it is no longer going to be a Soul Link, just because we didn't want to start out, like playing Pokemon co-op with a randomizer on it, and playing Soul Link without a randomizer really just doesn't work. So the way we're going to do it is we're just going to play just a regular co-op. So there's still a Nuzlocke. Like if your Pokemon dies, it's dead. That's it. You're done. You're cooked. It's over. And we're going to be choosing different starters.
Of course. We're gonna randomly pick the starters, though.
Yes, we're going to do a random number generator between 1 and 3 for one of us, and then 1 and 2 for the other one, or whatever. And we're going to see what it is that we end up with. But we are not going to be choosing our own starters, because if we did, he would pick Charmander, and I would pick Bulbasaur, and it would be locked in, and it would be like just chalk, like that. That's it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, fun things coming here in the near future.
Yeah.
So, let's see what else for the personal check-in. My motorcycle, I traded it. I got a car. I have a car again now. So,
big wheeling.
It is in its truest definition, a shitbox. But it's a reliable shitbox, which is really what I'm concerned with. Is can I get from point A to point B without my car blowing up?
Important. That's an important thing.
Very important. So that's pretty nifty. I didn't really watch a whole lot of football this weekend. I want to preface this now before we start getting into the weeds of the the football conversation here. Mm-hmm. I kind of took care of things this weekend. I didn't really watch much football, so
man,
just go.
Dude,
yeah.
You should have seen Monday Night Football. That was a shocker.
I did see the play where Jordan Addison just ripped the ball out of, I think it was Charvarius Ward's hands.
I was watching the Manning cast when that happened, because that's what I prefer to watch, and
that's fair.
That was a fun moment.
Yeah.
And it's because the very beginning of the game, it seemed like Vikings were gonna Viking, because Ward took the ball out of Addison's hands for an interception to start the game.
So he got his.
So then
back.
that play happened later on. It was like he got his get back.
Yeah. Okay. I see it.
So that was fun.
What else? I think I had something else, like cooked up, and I totally forgot. But if that's the case, I'll probably remind myself later, and I can talk about it during the end of the video.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I've recorded for 3 videos today. I recorded all that I need for the Weevault video that should be coming out Saturday. Always, check those out. They're good videos. And then I recorded the first segment of the second Oscars video. The first one's already out, the 1930s Oscars.
Yes.
I recorded the first section for that, and then recorded some for a Power Rangers video, which now my Power Ranger toys are in full glorious display here. One more on the way. But got a video about them coming out. Really in-depth passion project. This is probably the most heart I felt behind writing for a video. Yeah, that's in the works too. But yeah, good videos coming soon.
Speaking of Power Rangers and videos, we did something the other night. So once I got my new recording equipment, I just texted you real quick, of course, to ask, hey, dude, do you mind testing my equipment with me just to see
I
thought
how this would be a 5-minute call.
I thought so too. I thought you were going to join real quick. We're going to be like, yup, it works, or nope, it doesn't work. Let me troubleshoot real quick, and then I would work, and then we'd be going our separate ways. And then we just got to talking for a little bit, and then you were going to leave.
I was going to leave.
And then 3 or 4 hours went by, and then you finally left because I don't remember what it was. I think we started out with we were talking about the starters, I think, because we were talking about the Soul Link, and the co-op at this point, and we were talking about the starters, and I was like, yeah, Kanto is probably it's definitely one of the best trios. I don't know if it's my favorite. And then so you looked up a list of ranking all the starter trios, and you asked me to guess the rankings, and I did pretty well in those. And then about halfway through, you're like, we should have made this a video. And I'm thinking in the future we should do something like that for a video.
I was thinking about making that a weekly segment on the pod.
Yeah, that'd be a good call. Honestly,
we could find something for this. We could do it this.
We could do it this episode if we really want to.
We could do it this episode. It wouldn't take long to find something.
So yeah, big things planned. All in all, we've been having fun.
Having a lot of fun. That call was so
impromptu.
so unexpected.
We didn't mean to stay on for 4+ hours, but we did, and we had a great time.
Yeah.
And just 2 guys just hanging out,
just 2
non-sexually,
dudes,
unless. Anywho, Are we ready to move on into the
so
into the
for this week, the Cowboys and Titans are on their byes, so I don't have any Cowboys talk to talk about. I got nothing of interest to say, but
things have occurred. Things that, if you remember, I texted you less than 24 hours before it happened.
Yep.
I said
you called.
My exact words, and I quote, were Kevin Byard will be a Philadelphia Eagle by Halloween.
You did.
Less than 24 hours later. It didn't even last to Halloween. It was 8 days before Halloween.
And I told you, I said, God, no, please.
And you put the cap emoji on the message, I remember.
Yeah, probably because I didn't want it to happen.
You reacted with the cap. I got the screenshot. You reacted with the cap emoji.
I believe it.
And no, there's no cap involved. It was, in my opinion, it was the most obvious move the Titans were going to make at the deadline. If we're going to sell anybody else, I know. I think it was Jordan Schultz just talked about on ESPN or whatever that Henry and Hopkins are being shopped. Which I
saw that
believe. I do believe, especially Henry. I think Hopkins is a guy I could see getting traded this off season for lesser value than he'd be worth right now, just because he's on a 2-year deal, and we're going to be playing some rookie quarterback this weekend, and probably longer than that because Tannehill can't even put weight on his ankle right now. He's in a full cast. Or not on a full cast necessarily. He's in a cast and isn't putting any weight on his right ankle. So no better way to help your quarterback of the future and see what you have in him than give him a reliable target. And if we trade Hopkins, we will not have that. Traylon Burks has also practiced all week, so good sign that he'll be back for the following
AJ Brown
game here
replacement.
against. Godly G. Willikers. Second year in a row that by mid-season, A.J. Brown has more receiving yards than every single Titans wide receiver combined. Yeah. Historically
Most pissed about it?
Trade.
Mike Vrabel.
Yes, because it was not his choice. It was John Robinson's choice. And, I firmly believe Rand Carthon would not have made that decision. But
you would have to hope.
Shoulda, coulda, well, he paid Jeff Simmons.
Different position though. You don't know. You don't know his philosophy on
2019 draft pick from Mississippi, who's really good at football. I don't know, man. Same player to me.
Yeah.
Okay. But then I think really the last thing here. Of course, obviously, I'm gonna miss Kevin Byard first and foremost. I've had his jersey for like 6 years. Like it's like before the Titans uniform update jersey. That's how old this Byard jersey is. This was right after his breakout sophomore year that I got this one, and because that was the year I really got into football, like watching it all the time. And of course, Byard was making plays every week. He had 3 interceptions against the Browns. He finished
you picked the Titans.
I didn't pick that. I grew up a Titans fan. I just didn't start watching football more until. But I mean, I went to games when I was younger. I had a Kenny Britt jersey growing up. All right, that's how OG I am. But anywho, I'm gonna miss Byard, the mayor of Murfreesboro, class act guy. Honestly, just one of the best people in the sport.
He's not going to the right city then. he's in the wrong city.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to be mayor of that city, but he's a good
Let
dude.
Jason Kelsey be that.
Real good dude. Unfortunately, he this season he hasn't quite been what he has been. I mean, the last 2 years he's been fantastic, and this year it's probably been, if not the worst year of his career, it's the second worst year of his career. The only other season that's really comparable is 2020, but even then that was just he was just asked to do way too much because he had to carry that god-awful defense. And
Terrell Edmonds fill the void?
I'm more concerned about the 5th and 6th round picks, to be honest with you. I don't even know if Terrell Edmonds is on the team next year. Also, Elijah Molden got moved to safety this offseason. I think he starts opposite of Monty Hooker. I don't think Terrell Edmonds starts. Elijah Molden's been very good this year as a third safety. We'll see how good he is as a starter. But I think Terrell Edmonds takes that Elijah Molden role, and then Elijah Molden takes the Kevin Byard. Excuse you. Hey.
What's he sitting on?
My dresser.
Yeah, but like, is there something like on top of the dresser he's sitting on?
He's not sitting on anything, but there's a Grookey behind him.
Ooh.
Bowie. He's trying to knock my playing cards over. He's doing it. You can see them moving. He's probably fine. And then the last thing, today Mike Vrabel said that if Tannehill is not good to go, which I'm going to tell you right now, he's not. Tannehill's not playing against the Falcons. There's no shot. Son of a bitch. Anyways. Sorry, that was mean. I love you, Bowie. But
sometimes you got to be harsh.
He said that both Malik Willis and Will Levis will get playing time, which I hope means Levis is the starter and Malik Willis gets packages of basically rookie year Lamar Jackson like they did when Joe Flacco was starting. I hope that's what that means, is that Malik gets some read option packages or some bullshit. But please do not put Malik out there for like 2 quarters of football. Like
I was gonna say we'll probably get half and half.
Don't do what we did in the preseason, where it's like give me a drive of Malik and a drive of Levis and a drive of Malik, and like that's fucking stupid. Just let one of your young guys develop, and put Malik in the game for like 3 plays if you want to run a gadget or some shit like. Just or give, like you said, if you want to give each of them a half, whatever. As long as we see Will Levis I am going to be mostly satisfied. I would ideally like to see they just start Levis and just have him play, but also I'd like to apologize for the laundry. I've actually been very
disgusting.
I know I'm filthy.
Disgusted.
You're the one with shoes
my laundry's
on your carpet
unfolded,
right
but it's still in the hamper in my closet right now.
Hi, Precious.
Hi.
But so I think that's it for the Titans talk. I think I said last week we would only do these segments if we had anything to say, and Jerry Jones, of course, on radio said that the Cowboys are not really going to be pursuing anybody at the deadline. So, not much going on with Dallas.
Which I don't hate. I do think there's something to continuity helping a team.
Yeah.
And he is good at drafting, so I do understand his hesitancy to move draft picks.
They've been very good. The reason they're good now is because they've done very well with homegrown talent the last 3 years or so. They've been hitting on all their draft picks.
So I'm not gonna fault him for being, hoarding his draft picks. It's like, you know what, fuck it. You actually cook with those. You do cook with those, so I'll let you hold on to those.
And so far, I'm okay with trading veteran players, even if it's for late round picks, because Josh Wiley was a 5th round pick and he's had a decent rookie year. You know what I mean? So, and he's only gotten more involved as the season's gone on. So, people see a 5th and a 6th round pick, they're like, we traded Byard for peanuts, and it's like, Fred Warner was a 5th round pick. All right, it doesn't. It's fucking ridiculous.
Don't shoot for Fred, but if you get starters with it,
you're not going to get Fred Warner every year in the 5th round, but you're going to get good.
If you can draft well, and if it's a guy that's gonna be leaving, I don't know what Byard's contract situation was. So I'm not speaking to him, but But if it's a guy that's going to be leaving, it's like, even if you get a quality special teamer, it's like, okay, that's more than nothing that we could have gotten if they had left.
And Byard was under contract for next year as well, but he was going to be making $14 million. And on top of that, we actually restructured Byard's contract to where he takes more next year than he would have and takes less this year, and we won't be paying that next year. So Tennessee gave him less money this year to then ship him off, have Philadelphia take on his entire contract, which they did, by the way. And the Titans are going to be 2nd in the league in cap space with $92 million next year. All right, if Levis shows any semblance of promise, this is going to be a quick fucking rebuild.
Yeah,
because we've got almost $100 million in cap space.
And you'd probably would still have a good draft pick to get either another weapon or any type of lineman on the side.
I hope every single week we play competitively down to the wire, lose every game. Levis looks really good somehow, and we lose every game. And if it's not Marvin Harrison Jr., it's Olu Fashanu. But one of those two either of those two players on my football team,
I think he'll be too good for Marvin Harrison.
I think we're not going to be number 2 overall pick bad,
which is what it'll take.
But in terms of Olu Fashanu, can we be number 5 overall pick bad?
And you never know, with quarterbacks and different things. Olu, maybe he's top 10 for sure, but
he's not a lock for top 5.
You never know.
Penix's draft stock is going up. Drake, UNC just lost to Virginia of all teams.
I think Drake May's fine,
but he's probably still going to be the 2nd quarterback taken. I don't see any. He's going to be a top 5 pick for sure.
Caleb Williams' stock has fallen, but he's still locked number 1.
He would have to have a ridiculously bad rest of the season for the
or a ridiculously racist GM
for the conversation.
The one pick.
Yeah, for the conversation to shift. But I will say, I know I talked about this with you, but I don't think it's reasonable to put Caleb Williams in that Trevor Lawrence, Andrew Luck tier of prospects at this point, because the teams he plays well against are Brayden McClellan Technical Institute for the homeless.
Whoa! That's a fucking.
And then when he plays a team with a pulse, it's it's not everything, because obviously he makes throws, he does things that nobody else will do besides Patrick Mahomes, and he does give you that archetype of quarterback where you're you feel like you always have a chance with him because any given play he's going to light it up, and that's still there. That's no question about that. But in terms of his ability to perform against teams with a pulse, as well as it seems like he's just kind of a head case. I'd be lying if I said my concerns didn't go from 0 to maybe just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's still my QB1.
We just saw that he's human.
But I'm a little concerned. But concerns that I did not have with Trevor Lawrence, I have with Caleb Williams. And for me, I think I no longer feel comfortable using the word generational when describing Caleb Williams.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it feels like there's one generational player every draft, but it's because it just alternates through positions, and it's Marvin Harrison this year. He's the generational player. I don't know. Because I think I've heard that people complain about the word generational being overused.
Brock Bowers as well. There's 2 this year.
You're right. You are correct.
Yep.
But people say
he's a tight end, so it's hard to remember. But
yeah, but people complain about that word being thrown around a lot. But also, it's like, I think when we talk about in a sports sense, a generation is shorter than what people think, and then also there's so many different positions in football that it does get to rotate, and you kind of probably do end up having one a year,
or at least one every 2
at a different
years.
position.
Yeah.
So close to that. Yeah.
Every you'll see one come into the league more last year Bijan.
Yeah.
In fact, Bijan might just be Bijan and then Jalen Carter were probably the only 2 true blue chip prospects in last year's draft class.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Will Anderson. You can argue Will Anderson, and you can maybe argue Bryce Young as well.
I mean, you could say blue. I think you could say blue chip, but maybe not generation.
Well, yeah, they're not the same thing. But I mean, blue chip. You could really even last year there weren't very many blue chip prospects. And really, there weren't very many the year before either. So this year, it's kind of refreshing to see, remember the narrative 2 years ago was, there's no Nick Bosa or Chase Young to this draft class, and the first 2 picks were edge rushers. You know what I mean? That just goes to show you there were hardly anything for as far as blue chips 2 years ago.
But Aiden Hutchinson.
But he's awesome. But I mean,
he might.
But this year. There's a lot of, even if not there's 2 generational guys, which is already more than you normally get. Marvin Harrison Jr. and Brock Bowers are generational talents at their position. I would be absolutely shocked if either of them weren't top 10 players at their position. But
I mean, Brock Bowers, he's fighting the position value.
Well, but even he's a generational tight end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not saying he should be
the
3rd player taken or something.
But
is the second best.
It's just that's a
class.
position that doesn't get a lot of respect. But then at the same time, it's T.J. Hawkinson went 8th,
and Kyle Pitts went 4th. And he's not really a true tight end. As Brock Bowers is a true wide tight end for the most part, but still, Brock Bowers is a top 10 lock. I feel somebody is going to, even if it's a luxury pick, somebody's going to do it because he's just that good. But
yeah.
But the point I was making was that as far as blue chippers go this year, even besides the 2 generation, I think Olu Fashanu is a blue chip tackle prospect. You know what I mean? There are guys this year more so than even I would say Drake May is a blue chip quarterback prospect.
Oh yeah.
I would probably take May over even Bryce Young.
Yeah.
As far as not by a whole lot. I think
I heard that last year when Bryce Young was going 1.
I heard last
people
year
say
too,
that.
and I didn't hate it.
Yeah.
And even I'm not huge on May, but I would take May.
Yeah.
I think he's a blue chipper, and Caleb Williams. I'm not going to sit here and say he's not a blue chipper yet, even though I'm not using the word generational anymore, but he's still a blue chipper. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of guys this year that even if you're not getting Marvin or Brock, you're still going to feel good about what you end up with. So I don't know how we got into draft talk, but some way, somehow, here we are.
We did. It's fine.
Just free balling, I guess. I'm having a good time though.
Rolling.
Do we want to get into the thick of it here? The football.
Yeah, let's get into these.
The NFL football.
Let's pull them up. All right.
Let's ride. Let's do it.
We'll start off with the. We'll start off with the best win of the week. Do you want to go first?
The best win of the week for me was Philadelphia. Now I know the officiating in this game was a subject of contention. Oh wait, did I?
You said Ravens.
Oh, I did say Ravens. Okay, I forgot the Ravens beat the shit out of Detroit. Okay, hang on. Yeah, Ravens. I'm sorry. That was I don't have my phone on me right now. I was charging, so I couldn't see my notes. So because I remember Philly was my initial pick when I was looking through, but no, it's Baltimore. Yeah.
38-6.
And it's Baltimore because Baltimore has been a sleeping giant all season long, and both of their losses are self-inflicted. They would have beaten Pittsburgh by 50 had they just caught all the passes they dropped. And the Colts game, really just an unfortunate one, but I mean, if Justin Tucker hits the field goal, they win. If the PI gets called on that 4th down, they probably win. So, like I said, self-inflicted wounds for the most part for Baltimore, and they finally put it all together for a game. And I'm pretty sure this is my game of the week. They slaughtered them.
It was your matchup of the week.
Yes.
You're right. I think it was.
They slaughtered them.
and it ended up being.
And it was over in the first quarter. Like this wasn't a slow burner. It was over.
I'm trying to remember what mine was. I don't think either of our matchups of the weeks
you
were like
said Eagles Dolphins.
Yeah, I was gonna say neither of ours were competitive games.
No, that one was more competitive than the score shows. It was
more,
for a while.
I guess.
Well, if you look at 10 penalties to 0, and you also look at the what do you call it?
What should have been
the Darius Slay interception where Raheem Mostert clearly is getting tackled before the ball gets there. That's semantics, but you know.
I mean, we're talking about what
should have versus what is. I understand.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Lamar's my fantasy quarterback in one of my leagues, the league I care probably the most about. So he's that was beautiful to see.
It was good. That was good to see.
Yeah. Anything else you wanted to add about this game?
Not really a whole lot. I mean, I don't have.
You jumping off the Lions?
No, I don't feel necessarily bad about Detroit. Like this was their one bad loss of this. They haven't had one yet.
For Detroit's sake, I was listening to Colin Cowherd, and he has this. He presented this stat, which was crazy.
Yeah.
And it's Lamar against NFC teams. He's like 16-1.
Yeah.
He's like Colin was like, and I agree with Colin on this one. Is like, if you don't see Lamar regularly, you don't know what you're about to get into.
I think that's fair, and that's probably.
And I was like, he's right.
Well, stop clock is right twice a day, but yeah, Colin is definitely right about that take.
I'd give him a little more than that, but he's
all right, thrice a day.
He misses a lot, but I like Colin. His personality is funny.
It's not necessarily that he misses. It's just like the really passive aggressive up his own ass commercial that comes on all the time, where it's like, no matter how many times I'm right, you'll still argue with me. Yeah, because you're wrong all the fucking time.
Yeah, yep. I saw that. But you just gotta laugh, dude. It's such a Colin thing, bro.
He's always been up his own ass, but I feel like that's the allure of Colin.
He does it in such a funny fucking way. I hate his co-host or whatever that other guy's name is.
Oh, is that Nick Wright who sometimes does?
No. I like Nick Wright. I do actually like Nick Wright. I'm not. If I say I like a sports personality, I mean their personality, not
I know
whatever they're batting.
Joe Klatt's done it with him a few times.
When Klatt's on, that's great. But his whoever took over from Molly, that little weasel, whoever the fuck that guy is.
I haven't watched Cowherd in years.
I watch clips. I don't watch the full show. I watch clips, but when I see him, I'm like, dude, shut this guy up. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, but I think you're right about what you said about Lamar. In fact, I think. Yeah. Hang on, the one loss. That one loss, I think, was the game Justin Tucker missed his first career PAT, if I'm not mistaken. I think they played New Orleans, and they lost that game because Justin Tucker didn't tie the game up on a PAT after a touchdown. Don't ask me why I remember this, but I'm like 99% sure his one career loss to an NFC team was New Orleans, and it was the game Justin Tucker missed his first career PAT after being automatic for like 7 years. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm tripping, but I think it was New Orleans that beat them in that game, and I think Lamar started. And again, that's a game they could have won if Tucker hits the PAT. So Lamar in another realm is 17-0 versus NFC teams. So you're right. If you don't see
in another
Lamar,
realm, he's 12-12.
Well, I'm just saying, like you said, like if you or like Colin said, I guess, like you quoted.
Yeah.
If you don't see Lamar, you don't know what the fuck to do.
Yeah.
And I think that's
it might be the hardest quarterback to like prep for.
Well, at this point, and there's no excuse at this point anymore for people to be like, oh, I don't trust him as a passer. You're racist.
You're 100%, dude. He's dotting them up.
It's been like for the last even the previous 2 seasons. It's like it's still.
It was valid
fishy.
for like his first 2 seasons,
yeah,
maybe.
But even the previous even these past 2 seasons, it's like okay, that's kind of fishy. But if you're saying it this year that you don't trust Lamar Jackson as a drop back passer in a non-Greg Roman offense, you need to check yourself. You're either stupid, racist, or both. As our good friend Gabe once said about people who think Zach Wilson is better than Justin Fields.
Hey, I might be racist, but I ain't stupid.
It's got nothing to do with this. All right, I ain't stupid. Yeah. Anyways, Lamar's awesome. Stop the random Lamar hate. That's always been a thing for no reason. Lamar's awesome.
Yeah, love Lamar. You want to get into my best win?
Yes, sir. Your best win. Yes.
I went with, and I guess the competition might be iffy, but I went with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Fair
just
enough.
Because Patrick Mahomes looks great. Travis Kelce playing like the first ballot Hall of Fame tight end that he is.
Cook,
which he does regularly.
Fact,
but
best receiving tight end ever.
Yes, I agree with that. I don't have him
it.
as the greatest of all time, though.
No, Gronk was a much better blocker.
Me, yes.
And
I
was
agree.
also a more dominant player in any given Sunday than Kelsey is.
Yeah. I agree with
Not
all
that Kelsey
but,
isn't dominant, he is.
But Kelsey with Taylor Swift watching, that might be the best. I don't know.
Yeah, Kelsey. If you give me one single game of any tight end in their career, I'm taking Kelsey with Taylor Swift in the press box with his mom.
Yeah.
Or in the suite, excuse me. But
yeah. But and then the tiebreaker for me between this game being the best win versus some others was that it was a divisional game, and this just, I mean, it just closes the door on the chance of any team. Not even that the Chargers were the one with the chance, but closes the chance on any team besides the Chiefs winning that division. That door was already closed, but just to hammer that point further, got to go with the Chiefs. Maybe Mahomes' best game this year. I'm not sure, but great game.
Yeah, and it's nice to see the offense in Kansas City come along, because I think at this point with Miami's struggle against good teams, Buffalo's struggle against everybody apparently.
Against themselves.
Well, I know that they've been injured to shit this year. They're probably, if not the most injured team in the league, they're definitely up there in terms of what they've faced, and they've lost a lot of key positions. But it shouldn't be this bad, right? Like, you shouldn't be losing to New England. So
right,
because they've been a wreck this year.
Yeah.
And credit to New England. It's not like New England played like they have all year. They were much better in this game than they have been.
Mm-hmm.
But tough game.
You want to? We can move on to worst wins.
Worst wins. There weren't a whole lot of these this week. I think I said Denver.
You did,
because you've messed up your draft positioning here, because you don't have a first round pick next year. So you absolutely need your first round pick this year to be good enough to get you like Drake May. And unfortunately, winning this game, obviously Sean Payton's playing for his job, so it's not like he's gonna tank. But
is he?
I don't know if they look. Like
I don't think he is. They traded for him, so I think he gets a little more time. It's Russ who's quarterbacking for his job.
I guess he probably gets next year, but I don't know that his
next year
is
different quarterback is probably what he gets.
Yeah.
And then they'll see.
But yeah, nobody's leash is shorter than Russ's for sure. He's been better than last year, but that's not saying much.
He doesn't have a leash. They're holding him by the collar. That's what they're doing with Russ right now. Yeah. But yeah, quick draft positioning makes sense.
Yeah, I would like what you said with the Bears last week. But the difference is Denver does not have somebody else's first round pick who is currently the worst team in the league, and Denver also doesn't have one next year. So they need this pick to be like Drake May. If it's not Caleb, it's gotta be really high up. It has to be a quarterback, because you just can't ride. And really, you don't even want to do this thing. You don't want to run this back with like Kirk Cousins next year either.
Oh no.
So you gotta.
They should trade for like a backup young quarterback who has potential. They should like call Seattle and see if Drew Lock's available or something
Tennessee
like that.
And see if Malik's available, because he should be. Please send him away somewhere.
I was just saying, like, hey, Seattle, you should have just kept Drew at this point.
Yeah, Denver should have just kept Drew Lock. I don't know. He's granted he's I don't think he's ever gonna be that guy, but he's always been capable of making some throws.
Hey, who knows?
I like Drew Lock coming out.
I think Drew could. Drew's literally looking at Gino and being like, "I need your career path."
Yeah. Speaking of a random segue here, you know what would really go hard? I don't know if you'll agree with me on this. You know what would go absolutely hard? Carson Wentz career revival. That shit would feed families. That would, yes. No. Carson Wentz career revival would be so cool.
No, what would feed family would be Luck coming out of retirement.
But just not playing for Indy this year. In their as a 1-year rental without Anthony Richardson.
Well, actually, this year maybe if AR is out.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want him in Indy again. I don't want to play against Andrew Luck. I don't want him to be 12-0 against us.
Your season's done, dude. Like.
Regardless, I don't want that 11-0 to look any more impressive. I don't need a 12-0 in there. You know what I mean? Like it's over.
Yeah.
It's over.
But
I don't need to see it.
So I agreed with you that it was tough to find a worst win. So I just picked the team that had the lowest, scored the least amount of points in a win. I had the Giants with 14 points. They won 14-7 against the Commanders. Just, I don't know. It's also because now there's just a growing argument that Tyrod Taylor's better than Daniel Jones. And like,
It's because he is. It's because he is.
I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it.
Is.
But the fact that it is an argument is terrible for your $40 million a year quarterback.
Yeah, when your backup granted, I mean, Tyrod Taylor has never been a scrub. Like, we don't need to like pretend that Tyrod stinks or something. You know, this is a guy that took Buffalo to the playoffs in 2017 as a starter the whole year.
Had to fight off Nathan Peterman for the starting spot.
Yeah, Peterman weirdly almost, I think it was like really close to taking it or something. Like, it was a battle all throughout camp.
Well, he played.
Oh, I think he did play like week 1, but then he threw 5 picks in one half. And
I think it was later in the year that
that
happened.
But he threw 5 picks.
Into the year, they were like, we need more from the quarterback. They throw in Peterman, and they're like, never mind.
I think it was against
please.
the Chargers, I want to say. I think it was against the Chargers, and it was 5 interceptions and a half, and he immediately got benched.
Yeah.
By the way, that was, I think, John Gruden's QB1 that year. Good coach, by the way. Very good coach. So...
Super Bowl winning.
Well, anywho.
Dude, I saw a post with Gruden giving a speech recently, and the comments were like, fuck, the Raiders would be better if he was coach. People were like, no, they wouldn't. They were bad when he was there.
Yeah. Granted, the Josh McDaniels era is not off to a hot start.
Yeah.
He's a guy that should be gone after
I don't know how teams keep going. You know what? Bring us a Patriots assistant coach.
Or especially when this one has a proven track record of failing. He was a washout in Denver. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Yeah, stop hiring Belichick assistants. They suck.
Yeah.
They
So
suck.
let's.
Bill O'Brien is the most successful, and even he got fired after a while. So.
But my worst win is actually the same as your best loss.
Interesting. You're right. You're right. My best loss.
Because you had a very specific point to make.
Because Ron Rivera is terrible at his job. And losing games gets you one step closer to firing him. And look, he's a good guy. And, heartwarming story because he beat cancer. He coached through cancer a few years ago and then beat the cancer in the offseason, I want to say. And, awesome. That was a great story. He's a good dude. But he's just a terrible... I almost feel the same way about him as I did Jay Gruden. He's a good dude, but he's a terrible coach. I'd love to have a beer with Jay Gruden.
It's like how I felt about Dwight Powell starting for the Mavs this last season. I was like, get him the fuck off the court.
It's how I feel watching...
great person.
It's how I feel watching Aaron Brewer at center every week. He's a captain of the team. He's a really nice guy. He plays with a lot of he loves the team. He loves his teammates. He's a coach's favorite for a reason. But he's 150 pounds playing offensive lineman. I don't know what you want me to say. He doesn't have an anchor because he can't. He's 6'1". It's physically impossible for him to have an anchor, and that's why he's playing center. It's the easiest position to hide your play strength. It's also his most natural position. And while he's a good zone run blocker, he's just not. He's not a startable offensive lineman in the NFL. It's not even his fault. It's tragic. I just wish he was a little taller and a little bit bigger.
It can get tragic.
It should get tragic and pathetic. But yeah. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, Ron Rivera. He just needs to go. He needs to go.
We talked about it.
I'm not even sure Eric Bieniemy is somebody you'd even want to consider as a long-term head coach. Maybe your interim. Please.
You could see. You can get a sample.
If you're gonna I think that's because if you're gonna fire Ron Rivera. Giving Jack Del Rio the interim position is a complete lateral move, if not downgrade. So I would say Eric Bieniemy at least gives you an audition as a head coach this year, and he gets to audition to the rest of the league. It'd be a huge favor you're doing Bieniemy for one, and two, what Jay Gruden is because we've seen it. It was terrible. That's why he got fired in Oakland. So give Bieniemy an audition for the rest of the season. If they lose next week, I think it's a good chance he gets fired. I read a report today that he is among league circles being talked about as the most likely in-season fire candidate, which I can't believe it's not Brandon Staley, but that's a whole separate conversation.
We keep thinking we're gonna get that noti.
And it never.
We just haven't gotten it.
This week, I guess it makes sense. Kansas City, you're not gonna. Granted, you have to beat the teams in your division.
I was gonna say, to me, it makes more sense to fire him now because you're just like, well, fuck it. You can't. We need you to beat this team. You cannot beat this team.
You need to beat the teams in your division, especially Kansas City. If you can't beat Kansas City, you should not be coaching in the AFC West. So, and I know it's hard. I know Denver hasn't done it once since Patrick Mahomes got to town.
Which is
even
so
even
funny.
A couple of times before
they give
that.
him the most trouble.
Yeah, it's hilarious. But hi, Dirkio. I see him in the background there.
Oh, his little paw.
Let's see his little paws. But yeah, just let Ron Rivera go. Please, for the love of God, do not give Jack Del Rio the interim spot. Give it to Bieniemy. Give it to anybody else on the staff. Do not give it to JDR. In fact, throw JDR out with Ron Rivera. He should not be in the building either. He stinks. And I think that's about all I have to say about my best loss of the week.
Yeah. So my best loss was the Indianapolis Colts loss to the Browns. This historic Browns defense, which I came on here and said they were, and then just to put up 38 with Gardner Minshew rushing for 2 touchdowns. Crazy.
Pretty
Josh
incredible
Downs
stuff.
looking like Randy Moss out there. Makes you rethink the Browns a little bit because it's like, well, even though the defense is still the reason they won that game because of the turnovers that Myles Garrett caused, I think the Browns had to score themselves on the defensive side of the ball. So the Browns defense is still the reason they won the game, but 38 points is still a very alarming number, especially when you factor in the play that they're getting on the offensive side of the ball to complement it.
Another reason I think it's valid to say this is best win is because Deshaun Watson got hurt and it was against your team. So,
best loss, yeah.
Best loss, excuse me. It's Deshaun Watson got injured, and I think, like I said a few weeks ago, the only time I'll ever celebrate anybody getting hurt is if it's probably Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, seeing him clap his hands on the sideline when they're winning, I'm like, dude,
Blood thinks he's on the team. I mean, he is, but he thinks he's doing something out there.
Yeah, it's just so funny. Just like, bro, you have sucked in this uniform. It is insane. The fact that PJ Walker plays the exact same level of football as you is not good.
I'm so glad people started saying that Trey Lance was the worst trade ever made just for Deshaun Watson to be like, yeah, watch me one-up that shit. Because at least Trey Lance didn't get a $240 million fully guaranteed contract. That's and then play like ass. He played like ass on a rookie contract. Deshaun Watson is playing like ass with 5 years in year 2 of a 5-year contract, and it is fully guaranteed.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, that was none of that money was given in year 1, so like all of that money is basically in these 4 years.
Yikes.
So
yeah,
I think only $1 million was allocated for his first season. All the rest of it was the next.
Right.
4.
Yeah, that's right, because they were
the suspension. They didn't want him to lose too much. Him and his agent didn't want to lose money over the suspension because they knew they'd get suspended.
Dude, his agent, fucking wizard.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson's agent. If he wasn't working for Deshaun Watson, I would say give that man a raise. But fuck that guy. Granted, he's taking care of himself. I get it. Like you gotta handle your business. You gotta take care of your own financial security.
Yeah.
Like I understand. I'm not going to pretend like there isn't a nuance in that conversation, but I think we've talked enough about Deshaun Watson's contract and his agent.
But we can move on to worse loss.
Good loss for Indy. I agree with you. It just the only thing about it is it's another loss for Indy. Another 3-4. Jacksonville's pulling away in this division, and
I mean that's short term, but I think weirdly enough, long term of having a better draft pick, getting your quarterback next year.
Yeah.
With Richardson out, you got to be honest. Like, well, we're not going to do anything with Gardner if we're being honest. Let's get draft picks. Let's look good and get draft picks.
I'm just glad Marvin Harrison Jr. won't be a Colt because they won't be bad enough to get him. So I won't have to see Marvin Harrison and Marvin Harrison Jr. be elite for the same division rivals.
That would be funny, dude. You're going to be sitting there draft day and you're going to see Colts trade up on the fucking bottom.
Son of a bitch! Fuck!
That would be beautiful. I know you'd hate it, but everybody else would think that'd be really
I mean, it'd be a cool legacy thing, but like, never have I fallen to my knees harder when a trade notification came out in the draft. Well, besides AJ Brown, obviously, but in terms of like seeing somebody trade up, like when when the 3rd overall pick got traded in this draft class, I was like, when I saw the trade thing before I saw the Houston logo, I'm like, oh my god, we just traded up for Anthony Richardson. And then I saw Houston again. I'm like, what the fuck? You just got your quarterback. And then they drafted Will Anderson. What the fuck are you doing? So,
we're going to make him a running back.
Yeah. Because at one point, like right before the draft, like very shortly before the draft, the Titans had higher draft odds to take Richardson than the Colts did. Because the Titans were talked about more than anybody else with potentially moving up with Arizona because Monty Ossenfort, the GM, was, in our organization before getting there. And Also, we needed a quarterback. Mike Vrabel, OSU alum, really liked C.J. Stroud. So if the Texans didn't take Stroud at 2, I honestly think Tennessee would have found a way to trade up to that third pick and get him. And who knows?
Wow.
Stroud would be doing this in Tennessee right now. But I wanted Richardson. I had a higher grade on Richardson than Stroud anyways. But both great.
Before he went down, it wasn't crazy to say.
No, even that it's year 1. Like, people are already saying, see, I told you the Panthers should have taken C.J. Stroud over Bryce Young. They've played half a season. They've played half a season.
They have, and things can't turn around. But yikes!
It's a bit
looking bad
right
now.
Bryce has one missed throw all season long. Do you know that? Bryce
According
has
to
missed
who?
one. I don't fucking remember. Bryce has missed one.
Okay.
How about you watch the fucking Panthers games, man?
No.
Bryce is good.
I sentenced you to watching Panthers.
Bryce is much better than it seems. He's stuck in a Frank Reich offense, which if you ever watch the Colts under Frank Reich, they weren't exactly known for their wide receivers getting separation. And also, there aren't many wide receivers to speak of because they traded the best one for Bryce in the Bryce Young trade.
They got a white boy with some sauce out there at his age.
32, 33-year-old sauced up, quirked up white boy goated with the mayo, Adam Thielen. Pretty cool dude. But are we ready to move on to worst loss?
I threw it up to you earlier, and then you just kept talking about something else.
Hang on. When did you throw up the worst loss?
I don't remember what you started saying afterwards, but I was like, you ready to talk about worst loss? And you were like, and another thing.
I think that's when I mentioned Deshaun Watson.
Maybe.
Probably, yeah. Okay.
Probably.
Worst loss. I picked Buffalo, right?
You did.
Okay. Yeah, it's
Makes
Buffalo
sense.
because this was such an obvious get-back game for Buffalo because they've struggled the last 2 weeks. And no, they played like shit the third week in a row, and they did it against vastly inferior competition. And it's bad. I mean, you're 4-3. The other teams in the conference are separating themselves from you, and the only solace you have is that the Dolphins also lost this week.
Yes.
So you're still only a game behind Miami, and you currently have the head-to-head tiebreaker against them. But if you keep playing like this, it's not like you're going to beat them in the second matchup. So, we'll see. We'll see how things go.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like we're used to the Bills billing every now and then, but like 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah,
that's concerning. Now it is at concerning levels now.
Yes, I'm with you.
Before it was like we've seen this. They do this every now and then. Yada yada yada.
Yeah.
3 weeks in a row. That's different.
I'm with you. But your worst loss, or you going?
My worst loss was the Bucks. Divisional game. I think this might have been for the division.
It is. Atlanta's leading because the
and
Bucks
you lose
are
it.
3-3.
That's not a game you can lose. You're at home. Bijan, their first-round pick, barely plays because of migraines. Which, you know what? If that's how you're feeling, valid. But hey, give us a heads up.
Mr. Beast was in attendance.
Yeah, apparently, he's a bad luck charm for him, I guess.
It would appear that way. It's weird that he's not a Panthers fan because he's from Carolina, but
he's a fan of money, dude. I don't know if he got paid to be there or not.
Probably. I don't know. Advertising, whatever.
Maybe.
It's Mr. Beast.
But that's just you just can't afford to do that. Losing at home in the division is going to be a quick way to be put on worst loss. Regardless of anything, add the fact that you scored 13 points.
Yeah.
Like your defense holds the Falcons to 16. You only scored 13. Like, okay, Baker, you were like this darling story at the beginning of the season.
Well, it's pretty easy to hold Atlanta's offense to 16, mind you.
Desmond Ridder.
Yep.
Arthur Smith.
What a guy.
It's so funny. He's like, I don't care about fantasy. I care about winning. And it's like, okay, he did it this week, but for the most part, you're not convincing us. Like, you're barely getting by. You're barely proving yourself.
If you care about winning,
right.
Throw the ball to Kyle Pitts.
If you care about winning, use these outstanding playmakers.
Use your best players if you care about winning. Like, I don't know what to tell you. By the way, did you know that this podcast was actually directed by Michael Bay?
I saw the flares.
You see the lens
solar flares.
Okay.
Lens flares.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad you knew what I was. I'm glad I didn't have to spell it out for you. I'm glad you knew what I was.
Yeah.
Picking
I didn't even think about it. Yeah.
Michael Bay directed my my footage here.
Yeah.
So. This is where we're at.
Is it pick time?
Is it pick time? Because I need to go get my phone if it's pick time.
I think you got to go get your phone. I think it's pick time.
Actually, before we do this real quick, I just want to talk about this team because I did mention them a couple weeks, like I think the Packers played the Raiders 2 weeks ago, right? They had their bye last week, I think.
You're correct.
Some shit like that.
Jordan Love had 13 days to prepare for the Broncos, I think is what I heard.
I'm going to say Matt LaFleur had 13 days to prepare because
valid.
It's not like the play calls have been helped. No, Love is not playing well. I've definitely I feel much worse about it now than I did, but I know I've been very much on the fire Joe Barry train, but I mean it's not like Joe Barry was the problem in this game. It's not like Denver lit up the scoreboard.
No, they had 19.
I think at this point, when do we talk about Matt LaFleur?
I'm hearing the talk
because
already.
I've never been a big Matt LaFleur guy. Obviously, he was my offensive coordinator before he got hired as a head coach, and he wasn't even good in that year as an offensive coordinator. Like, I don't know what film the Packers brass was watching in Tennessee and in the 2018
Did he know Kyle
season.
Shanahan?
No. He was Sean Mc. This was when everybody wanted to be the next Sean McVay, and he was his offensive coordinator in 2017. And the same reason Zach Taylor got a head coaching job for being a quarterback coach with the Rams.
One went to the Super Bowl at least. Floor, what are you doing?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
LaFleur, it's
at this point I'm almost ready to, I've never been like in on LaFleur necessarily. I've never been a huge LaFleur guy, but at this point I might just be out on LaFleur completely.
Yeah, I'm probably ready for that too.
Yeah, I'm certainly ready for the conversation at the very least. Like
from what I'm hearing from Packers fans, they're done.
Yep. I think I would be too.
I like to go off of what the fan base, it's not law because some fan bases are more overreactive.
Well,
but
I know.
Yeah.
But
it is still something to consider. When I'm hearing Packer fans say fire him, I'm like they know what they're talking about. I assume.
I've been listening to people all day yesterday telling me this franchise would never be shit because we just traded Kevin Byard, as if we were going to win anything in Kevin Byard's tenure. And
that's a weird one.
Yeah, I'm sorry. He's 30 years old. We're 2-4. I hate to break it to you, but there's no ring in his future if he stays in Tennessee, and there's no high draft pick in our future if we hold on to players like Kevin Byard. So
yeah,
it's the best outcome for both sides. The only reason people are angry, and I firmly believe this, the only reason there's as much uproar as there is because he got traded to Philly and not literally anybody else. Had it been any of the other 30 teams in the league, okay, I'll say 27 because if he went to a division rival, people would have been upset, but had he gone to 27 teams in the league, not named Philadelphia, Jacksonville, Indianapolis, or Houston, people would not be nearly as upset. I think that's at least 40% of the reason why Titans fans are upset. And also, there's just this really lazy narrative going around with the rest of the league of like, I can't believe Howie fleeced the Titans again. It's not a fleece. Kevin Byard is not an elite football player anymore. And he's expensive. And he's 30. And the Titans desperately needed draft picks because we really didn't have any this upcoming draft. So it's a good trade for both teams. I'm not shitting on Byard here. This isn't Byard hate segment. I love Kevin Byard, and he's still a good player. He's still going to help them out. And I hope he wins.
It's not the people because they see it's Titans to the Eagles. They think it's AJ Brown 2.0 type of trade.
There is a
it's
very
not that
big difference between trading a 30-year-old who is arguably a cap casualty based on what he's going to be paid next year,
who plays safety,
versus a 24-year-old top 10 wide receiver, and your owner has already given you permission to pay him what he's asking for. There is a big difference. If you cannot see the difference, I cannot help you because you are lost and you are
one of those trades got a man fired.
Basically, yes. There were a lot of other bad moves like the Bud Dupree contract.
If you're willing to do
Jones
that,
trade,
there's probably other stuff. It's the highlight.
The Isaiah Wilson draft pick. But the one thing I will always come back to.
Forgot about that one.
Everybody did because he played 4 snaps. He played 4 snaps as a Titan.
Forgot about that one.
27th overall pick.
Such an underrated bust.
Could you imagine if we had drafted, like, what was that, 2020? Had we drafted fucking T. Higgins with the 27th pick instead of fucking Isaiah Wilson?
Imagine if you drafted me.
Imagine. Especially, that was the last year of Corey Davis's contract. So, like, imagine if we had drafted T. Higgins as, like, a Corey Davis replacement.
And AJ Brown, T. Higgins?
And, like, we would have kept either of them.
Well, you might have won a little more, so maybe you would.
Well, I really do desperately hope that T. Higgins hits the open market this offseason and that we throw the kitchen sink at him because we have all the money to do so. We have enough money to pay T. Higgins like 5 times over, so give him a little more than what he wants. Just to give that man $25 million, $30 million if he wants it. Fuck it, to come to Tennessee. But let me go get my phone so we can.
Yeah, time to get the phone.
I'll be right back.
All right, I'll talk to the lovelies while you're gone. If you guys aren't watching Power Rangers, ooh, look at that sexy man. Watch Power Rangers, dude. Shit's cool. Right now I'm rewatching. Mighty Morphin is the first season. It's kind of a tough watch. I'm gonna be honest. It's very 90s, very after school special. My recommendation, if you were gonna start watching Power Rangers, could be Lost Galaxy, Time Force, Dino Thunder goes pretty hard, SPD. Check out some of those seasons. That's what I would recommend. But here is Jacob. He's back. He's got him in his hand, and the headset is on.
What's going on, y'all?
What is up? Let's get into these pickaroonies. So this a super rare thing happened. You won a week.
Not only did I win, I won pretty convincingly. Because
3-6.
That's what I'm saying. The 3 games we disagreed on, I got them all right.
Yeah.
It was 3 games in a row. It was Colts Browns, it was Bears Raiders, and it was Lions Packers. Or Lions Ravens, excuse me.
Yeah. So your win was convincing, but overall, bad week for us picking.
Oh yeah, I think bad week for most people picking because almost nobody took care of business who was supposed to take care of business.
I still hold the record for best week. Mm-hmm. Week 4, I had 12 right.
Yeah. It was a rough week for us both, but it was a good week for me circumstantially because I caught up.
Yes. You closed the gap. I'm only up by 1.
Yes. Because you were up by 4 and I just won 3.
Yeah. But yeah. Let's see what we can get into here.
We've got Buffalo
first one
and
Thursday night. I would have been more excited for this game a couple weeks ago. Now I'm like, okay, I don't know what I'm about to get from either team.
Buffalo has lost 2 of their last 3, and
terrible in their last 3. Period.
The Bucks have lost 2 straight.
Yeah. It's at home for the Buffalo Bills, so I will still take the Bills.
And I think I'm with you. I think if this game was in Tampa, well, granted, home field advantage don't mean a whole lot in Tampa Bay. There was this last week just proved.
Yeah, I would have picked them
Ritter
regardless.
just won a game on the road, which who would have thunk it? I'm gonna say Buffalo. Gonna say Buffalo.
And then we have the Falcons at your Tennessee Titans.
Well, the one thing you can really look at here is that the Titans are coming off a bye, and Mike Vrabel off a bye is almost automatic. It hasn't been since I think
I'm going Falcons.
Yeah. I'm not sure. Because on the one hand, I feel like if Will Levis starts, I feel like he's gonna sling that bitch. I don't know. I kind of feel
yeah, to the other team.
No. Okay, hold on. We're not losing in the Oilers throwbacks. Titans.
That's right.
We're not losing to them
You
Jones.
are.
Not losing to them Jones. I'm sorry.
Texans at the Panthers.
Houston, but I would love for Bryce Young to beat C.J. Stroud head to head. Man, that'd be so fucking awesome.
That'd be funny, but C.J. Stroud is like, C.J. Stroud's gonna look at McCown and be like, I thought we were gonna go golfing together here. He's just gonna be slinging that thing around.
Granted, maybe he just meant like when CJ and the Panthers meet.
Fizz.
Like, you know what I mean? But
that'd be so fun if they still went golfing together.
Maybe they will. Maybe they should. Yeah. It'd be nice to see Carolina get a win here, but I've got Houston.
Yeah, you got Houston. So then we have Jags at the Steelers. Steelers becoming a more interesting team to think about, to pick.
Yet another week of just Mike Tomlin bullshit getting them to another win. The death taxes and Tomlin and not finishing under 500 some way or somehow by any means necessary. It's not gonna happen. So
and I saw Steelers fans say that they pointed this out. This is the first time the Steelers are playing the Jags at home
since the 2017 playoffs.
Yeah, and I think things repeat.
How that? I'm with you. Jacksonville's hot. Pittsburgh, yeah, they beat the Ravens, and then they
extended like break for the Jags coming off of Thursday Night Football.
To what do you call it? A mini bye.
Yeah. Good old mini bye.
Yeah, I've got Jacksonville.
Here's, neither of our, okay. Keeping an eye out for our matchups of the week.
Yeah.
But here we have the Rams at Cowboys. This would have been a Dallas home game either way. But it's a genuine Dallas home game, and Dallas beat one LA team on the road. I think they'll beat an LA team at home. I got the Cowboys beating the Rams.
This LA team is coached just a little bit better than that one is, I'd argue.
A little bit better, but I don't know. The Rams, after what they did to Seattle, I thought it was like, okay, here we go. Rams might be back, and then just it's not been what I thought they'd be after that. So I'm going with the Cowboys. Do it.
I just don't
if
see
you want to do it.
3-5. Like, I don't know. At some point, man, the Rams are going to string some games together. I guess I think it starts here.
They might be committing to a little mini rebuild, a quick mini rebuild here.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
You got the Rams?
I got the Rams.
All right. So we both picked against each other's teams.
Yes.
That's fair. And then we have the Vikings at the Packers. I would have picked the Packers a week ago, but man, coming after the Niners win, Addison's looking good. Cousins is just dotted up. Still a good defense. Maybe not as elite as we thought it'd be, but I still think a good defense. Going up against the Packers, Jordan Love, who's not looking too good. LaFleur, who's probably going to be gone, but I got the Vikings.
Weirdly enough, I feel like the Green Bay wins this game, and I have no explanation for this whatsoever. But we see this happen every week, where you see something happen, and you're like, "How in the world?" And I feel like this is it this week. Because at some point in time, I don't know, like they gotta have to win another game eventually. And Minnesota, I mean, they're getting hot, I guess. But no, I'm gonna say Green Bay. It's a divisional game.
I'll take Brian Flores being able to scheme up against this first-year quarterback.
Well, fourth-year quarterback, but I guess.
Well, yeah, first-year starting. I
guess.
Mean. But that's why I said first-year and not rookie.
Yeah,
but it
enough.
Still came out the same.
All right.
But Patriots at the Dolphins.
If the Dolphins beat them in New England, they're sure as hell going to beat them in Miami.
For sure.
That's not how divisional games work, but I feel like they're going to bounce back.
Especially, coming off of the loss that they just had, they'll suit up right. But then Saints at Colts. If this was Anthony Richardson playing, I think this would be an easy pick. But
Gardner Minshew versus this secondary. Stinky. I got New Orleans.
I got the Colts. I'm gonna ride with the Colts here. Gardner Minshew just did that against the Browns. I'll trust him against the Saints, which I think is a good defense, but maybe a tad bit overrated. I don't think it's as elite as the Browns are.
Not as good of a defense, but the secondary.
And is Chris Olave going to be able to play?
Probably not.
Jordan Addison's looking good.
Also, apparently, a level 7 felony that he got charged. Apparently, that's like burglary, like breaking and entering, type thing. Like,
he's trying to prestige.
Yeah, apparently it's like level 7 out of 10. I don't know how that. I didn't know there was like levels to this shit. I didn't know you could level up. Bro's out here playing video games.
Yeah, bro. He's a gamer. But yeah, we move, and then we got the Battle of New York, Jets versus the Giants.
The Jets are coming off a bye. They've had an extra week to get going here. I don't care if it's Tyrod or Daniel Jones. This defense is really good. I don't really know what's going to happen. I'm going to say the Jets. Also, it's MetLife, so is this really a home game for the Giants?
Yeah, that's why I just
They both play here.
I got the Jets as well. I mean, I don't feel encouraged. The Giants coming off a not 14 difference. Like they scored 14 points and won
against Jack Del Rio. What are they going to score against Robert Saleh? You know what I mean?
Yeah, is Sauce back?
I see that. I don't know. But even if he's not back, though, his defense is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Top to bottom.
But then we have the Eagles at Washington. I would have picked the Commanders after Commanders at Eagles because that was so close. Flip the home, maybe it changes. But after what I just saw last week, I can't pick them. I got to go Eagles. It's so tempting.
It is.
It's so tempting.
Because you know if anybody's going to do it, it's them.
But you'll feel so dumb.
Oh, yeah.
If
If Philly
the
wins
Eagles
this
win.
game, like,
By
38
20,
to 14
yeah.
or some shit, you're going to be like, yeah, that was obvious. I don't know why the fuck I picked.
But it's so tempting. It is so tempting.
The spread is only 6.5 on this game.
Which is because they're factoring in that little oomph.
Washington, yeah. I'm gonna say Philly, but I don't feel good about it, and I really hope.
Yeah, it's like a Philly thing, but it's like I'm just gonna I'll feel better about picking Philly and being wrong than picking Washington and being wrong.
Yeah.
But then we have this is my matchup of the week because the one that I probably would have picked got taken. So my matchup of the week is Browns at Seahawks. Browns defense coming off that kind of embarrassing display, even though they had a very good individual performance from Myles Garrett. But as a unit, you give up 38 points to Gardner Minshew.
You gotta get
That's
right.
a problem, and you're playing Seattle, who only scored 20. I almost picked Seattle for worst win, because they only scored 20 against the Cardinals.
Jackson Smith-Njigba first career touchdown though.
Yeah, Jackson Smith-Njigba's coming along.
Good about that.
I gotta check and see if how DK's doing, because I think DK didn't finish. Yeah, it says he's questionable, so we'll see.
I've got Cleveland winning regardless.
I think I'm gonna go Seattle. I think their defense is playing really well as well. So to me, it comes down to which offense.
Is a dog.
Yeah, both defenses are playing great. To me, it comes down to which offense I like, and I like Seattle's much better than the Browns.
I can't fault you for that.
So yeah, that's why. I mean, matchup of the weeks, you usually pick a close game. So I obviously think it's close.
Yep.
Yeah, but we move on to Baltimore at Cardinals.
It would just be the most Ravens thing ever to lose this game after putting together their best game of the season.
Yeah, it's tempting.
In fact, you know what? I'm gonna do it.
Ooh, you gonna pick that?
I still think Baltimore's fine, even if they lose this game. But it would just be the most Ravens thing to lose this kind of game immediately after putting it all together, and I think it's gonna happen. Whatever. I'm calling my shots this week.
I don't hate you're taking that shot, but I'm gonna stick with the Ravens.
All right.
But then your matchup of the week this week, Bengals at Niners. This Joe Burrow off a bye week is probably one of the last few quarterbacks this reeling two-loss streak Niners want to see.
See, that's where my head's at. The Bengals have won 2 in a row, and then hit their bye week. San Francisco has lost 2 in a row, and more importantly, Brock Purdy has not looked very good.
Didn't the Bengals win 3 in a row?
No, because they won.
I thought they started 0-3.
They did. No, they started 0-2, then they beat the Rams, and the Titans beat the shit out of them, and then they won 2 games. They went on the bye.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's Joe Burrow off a bye week, playing against a team that has lost 2 straight games, and they've won 2 straight, and they're off a bye. So the momentum differential in this game is enormous, even if the record is obviously goes to San Francisco.
But the thing is, and I know this is what you're about to say, probably is like, do the Niners really lose 3 straight?
Yeah, I'm with you there, which is why this is my matchup of the week, is because you've got a complete difference in momentum, and you've got one team that desperately needs to, stop the tumble, and another team that needs to keep on going. And honestly, I think Cincinnati wins this game, and I still won't be worried about San Francisco unless this is a terrible loss. As long as it's close.
It's because you get a good defense. The Bengals still have a good defense to go up against Brock Purdy, that's increasingly becoming a bigger narrative. And then Burrow another week to help heal up his calf, and go up against a Niners defense that there's more film on how to beat out there.
Mm-hmm. Well, as far as Brock Purdy goes, as much as I like Purdy as a game manager, as a Kyle Shanahan disciple, it's becoming increasingly more obvious that there is only one way for this team to win games in terms of the offense. Like, you cannot be playing from behind. You have to get an early lead and play good defense. And that's the one thing that scares me about this 49ers team.
And Nick Bosa is playing a white quarterback. You need the defense to play good. Nick Bosa is going up against a white quarterback.
Not only is he playing against a white quarterback, he's playing against the white quarterback.
I was about to say the same thing.
This is white.
And
boy
he just went up. We saw what happened
here.
against Kirk Cousins. Hey, Bosa's going to let off a little bit.
By the way, Interesting stat here. Definitely a meaningful one. Nothing superstitious about this whatsoever. Are you Are you familiar with the Cousins curse?
Yes.
No team that has ever lost to Kirk Cousins in the regular season has ever made a Super Bowl. Not even one. Yep. Just never made a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
San Francisco just lost to Kirk Cousins on Monday Night Football, no less.
They lost against primetime Kirk Cousins.
Monday Night Kirk is like the worst Kirk that you're going to see.
Yeah.
Kirk, when the lights are bright, is not supposed to be as good as he was on Monday night.
Yeah.
And he was awesome. So I don't know.
Yeah.
This is again. There's many reasons why this is my match of the week.
Yeah. This is what I would have picked. But I let you pick first this week.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you very kindly, sir.
We both got Bengals here, and then Chiefs at Broncos.
Automatic. If you bet Chiefs money line every week against Denver, you'd be rich.
What's the over/under for like
8.
the whole game?
Spread is 8. Denver plus 8.
I mean like 46. That's what I'm.
Oh yeah, it's.
I'll take the under.
Under 46? Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'll take the under, and I'll take the Chiefs.
I can see Kansas City putting up a shit ton of points offensively this time, though.
It's always on. It's always on the table.
Well, also,
it's always on the table.
One thing, and I almost this almost factors into the Kevin Byard trade a little bit. I think the reason Byard got traded so like 8 days before the deadline, as opposed to like right at the deadline. What if Denver was shopping Justin Simmons at the same time, and Tennessee had to get rid of Byard before Denver offered Simmons for less than what Tennessee wanted for Byard?
I don't know.
Food for thought. Not saying it's just saying Philly. No
I think any of the Denver players are on the table.
I don't think Surtain's on the table.
I was about to say even Surtain. I think he's on the table, but I don't think any team will be able to get to the asking price that they probably would have.
I don't think Surtain's on the table because he's 24.
I don't think he's being shopped, but I think he's on the table. But it's just going to be the biggest ask that no team will be willing to do.
He's just too much of a building block. Like I feel like what do you gain by trading away? So like you got the picks, but how many like on average what a first round pick ends up being? How much is Surtain really worth? Because I'll tell you what, it's more than 2.
I was thinking like 3.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm like, no team. I don't think any team does it.
Yeah, I don't think it's like Denver. Even if you get offered 3, like you're gonna have a hard time parting with a superstar corner who's this young, and you're gonna.
Well, do you think it's just 3? I think it's like 3, a 5th.
Yeah, 3 plus some other extracurriculars. Like it's not just gonna be 3 firsts straight up.
Yeah.
So.
I think at that point,
Denver, trading away
I don't know if Sean Payton wasn't the coach. If they didn't, because I think the ownership probably still. They just traded for him. They might still have faith in him. If they had a bad coach, maybe they're like, fuck it, and trade him. But
if they knew they were going to blow it all up, maybe. But, at this point, like, you expect to win with Sean Payton? I don't know that I expect teams to win with Sean Payton.
I think they do.
But if you're, the executives in Denver, you expect to win with Sean Payton. So you are not going to trade your best player because you expect next season to be a good one. So... Like you said, like you invest in the offensive line in the offseason, whatever, that you draft Drake May. Like it has to be Sean Payton with a different quarterback next year, but you expect that to be a working formula. And maybe it will be. Who knows? But we've got Bears, Chargers.
I got Chargers, even though the Bears had a good win last week.
The spread on this game is 8.5, and I find that to be incredibly disrespectful to Chicago.
I'll bet the Bears to cover, but I'll take the Chargers to win.
I might bet the house on the Bears to cover. Now I do think the Chargers will win this game, but that is a ridiculous.
Yeah, 8.5 is crazy.
Ridiculous spread
especially because we just saw like the Bears. I don't know.
Need I remind you the Chargers are
best
2-4.
They are 2-4.
That is something to keep in mind. It's not like the Chargers are good. They are still coached by Brandon Staley. Let's
but like I'll roll the dice here.
We've got Raiders, Lions. Detroit gets to bounce back this week, and the Raiders continue to tumble.
Yeah, man, that's Monday Night Football. Yikes.
Yep.
Who put the Raiders on Monday night?
Wasn't me. Why do they keep getting primetime games to be? It's the fucking Vegas market, dude. It's so nice. They're like, why the fuck have the Giants and the Raiders been on primetime every fucking week?
Giants, I understand a little more because of the market, but Vegas has a pool like that. I can't imagine it does.
The gambling, Yeah, I think they
Yeah,
do.
gambling, but like they're gambling. They're not fucking watching.
I understand that, but I mean, I don't know. I think just the name Las Vegas carries a lot in and of itself. I think Vegas. I mean, it has to because one of the reasons why they have to have this many primetime games besides
And
just
because
being
they're the
Vegas.
Raiders, fool.
Boo. It's like what do you call it? If the Cowboys fan went down a different career path, it's the Raiders, fool.
Yeah, it's so funny. Cowboys, Niners, and Raiders fans are all secretly just the same person.
Nobody is on bye this week, by the way. Every team's playing.
Really?
16 games this week. There's 2 teams in each game. That's 32.
Wow.
Nobody's playing. Nobody is on bye.
Interesting. I never really thought about it, but I guess I always assumed every team was on a bye for a certain straight
I
week
assumed
period.
between like week 4 to week 13 or 14 or there was at least one team on bye, but nobody's on bye this week. Well, that's at least
because there were like 6 teams last week on bye.
I guess yeah, Jets, Titans,
Bengals, Cowboys.
Let's see.
Yeah, I know there's 2 more.
Yes.
God. Who didn't play?
Houston was on bye, weren't they?
Correct. Jets,
Yeah.
Bengals, Jets,
Well,
Bengals,
Panthers.
Titans, Cowboys, Panthers,
That's 6.
Texans. Yeah, that's 6.
It's a lot of football teams.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. There's no bye this week. So
Yeah.
all right, that is all for our picks.
Yeah. Do you want to talk fantasy a little bit?
I lost by 8 points, I think. And not only that, my opponent started. Let's see, how many did I lose by? And then I need to get into the weed. No, I lost by 2.2. Excuse me, I lost by 2.2, and my opponent started Dak Prescott, who was on a bye. Miles Sanders, who was on a bye. DJ Chark, who was on a bye. And Dallas defense, who was on a bye. And I lost this game.
Dog.
Because Calvin Ridley cannot produce consistently. It's not my fault for making poor draft choices. It is all Calvin Ridley's fault.
Dude.
All of it.
I also lost to a team that did not set their lineup.
Yeah. And I lost by 2. So Kenny Pickett had a decent week. He gave me 15.2. That's about what you expect with Pickett. McCaffrey, if McCaffrey didn't fucking fumble, I would have won this game. Another thing, McCaffrey didn't fumble, I win this game. McCaffrey, though, 22.6. He had an average Christian McCaffrey game. He had 2 touchdowns. Like, I can't blame McCaffrey. DeAndre Swift, 10.5. You expect a little more, but that's fine. Drake London, 11.4. You're honestly surprised when you get double digits from Drake London because his quarterback sucks. Musgrave, 7 points, whatever. Madison, 6.2. I don't know why I expected any better. Philly defense, 11. Riley Patterson, 0, which is the biggest surprise, I guess, in my lineup this week is that Patterson was a goose egg because Detroit only scored 1 touchdown. I think they went for 2 or some shit. Because it was probably like 24-0 at that point, and then 24-6. I don't know. I didn't watch. I wanted to watch that game, but I was running errands. What do you call it? Like if I had played Michael Wilson instead of Calvin Ridley, which I might just do this week, to be totally honest with you, I would have won. But that's about it. Nothing else I really could have done. It was just a bad week for all of my players, and at this point, I think my season's cooked. I think I'm 3-4. Call me the Raiders. I'm 3-4, and to make like McCaffrey is really the only reason I have those 3 wins. To be honest with you, so my season's fucking over.
My for both my fantasy teams, I think this applies. The comp is the Bills. Because I'm either having an outstanding game where I look extremely dominant, or I'm falling absolutely flat. Because I'm also, just like the Bills, 4-3 in both leagues.
Yeah.
This one league, I also lost to a guy who did not set his lineup. He had Joe Mixon, who was on a bye week on his bench, starting. He had Dameon Pierce, who was on a bye week starting for him, and he had the Jets defense, who were on a bye week starting.
Yeah.
I had Puka Nacua, who had 27 points, and then I had nobody else do anything. Really disappointed. To win, I would have needed to play Brock Purdy instead of Sam Howell, and I needed to have played like Zach Moss instead of Jamison Williams.
Yeah.
The guy I went up against, he had Josh Allen with 30, AJ Brown with 30, and then like nobody else. But yeah. But then the other team, this is the league that Gabe is also in. I was the highest scoring team of the week, while also being the least efficient manager of the week.
So
and I was also
scored way more.
And I was also the overachiever because my team outscored, like my starting team outscored the projections. So just very interesting team because I had the running back of the week with Alvin Kamara, but then I had the bench warming wide receiver of the week. I had Jordan Addison on the bench, and then I had the bench warmer tight end of the week. I had Darren Waller on the bench.
He caught his first touchdown of the season this week.
Yep. I was like, oh, you finally do something when I sit you. Thanks. But I had Lamar.
That's how fantasy football works, man. What is this, your first year doing this?
No, but it's aggravating. But I had Lamar give me 30. I had Alvin Kamara give me 30. Jahmyr Gibbs give me just below 30. Lions got blown out, but Gibbs had a great game fantasy-wise. The Browns defense gave me about 20 points. I had scored the most points with having Bijan Robinson starting for me.
Incredible.
And he gave me 0.3 points, 1 carry for 3 yards. But Jordan Addison, I don't think he replicates that, but going forward he will be starting. Darren Waller, I will trust you. I thought Michael Mayer's breakout game last week would continue. It did not. I feel good about that team. I still feel like these two
Brian
teams.
Hoyer wasn't his quarterback, but you know.
Yeah, probably. But both these teams have championship potential. One of them has Justin Jefferson on IR that could come back and help. The other one has Devon Achane on bench that could come back and help. So I think both these teams, championship caliber teams. I still believe that for both of them. But I like that my best team right now is probably the same, is in the same league that Gabe plays in. If I'm able to beat Gabe to win my first fantasy championship, it would put the biggest smile on my face.
I do really.
Not to mention, and I forgot to mention this earlier, my Texas Rangers beat Gabe's Houston Astros to go to the World Series.
And when the Astros lose, America
fashion.
wins. So
yes.
Shout out the Rangers.
It was
but really
great.
Quickly, I do want to say, Brett Maher got cut today, which I mean he missed 2 field goals against Pittsburgh. So.
Whoa! I didn't even.
No shock to anybody else. But the Rams.
When did that happen?
The Rams signed Lucas Havrisik from the Browns practice squad. So Lucas Havrisik is going to be kicking field goals for the Rams this upcoming week.
Wow. Triple threat Brett. Released from another team.
Triple threat Brett. I
Money
remember
Maher.
his rookie season, you were in love with him.
I still like him because I don't know if there's a more like interesting kicker to throw out there. Like if you're non-biased, like it's neither of your team.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a more interesting kicker to go watch kick a field goal because you're like, I have no clue what the fuck he's about.
Well, I think Joey Sly is basically the same player in terms of just comically strong leg, but like you have no idea what's gonna happen with this field goal.
Yeah,
Joey Sly is basically the same player.
Yeah, it's like, oh, he's kicking a 62-yarder. Fuck, he could make this. Oh, he's kicking a 30-yarder. Fuck, he could miss this. Yeah. No one else is doing it quite like Maher.
Yep. I remember a few weeks ago when they played San Francisco, and they were down by 10, but the spread was 8, and they were lining up for a field goal. I'm like, it's under 40 yards. Brett's going to miss this. And no, he did hit it, so I did make my money that week. But I was like, it's over. Because I knew it was Brett by 39 yards. I'm like, that's right under the sweet spot. He's not hitting this. And then he drilled it. So, you know. Definitely one of the funniest kickers in the league, though.
Weirdly clutch, too. Like, from what I remember from his time with the Cowboys.
He had some good moments, for sure, in the clutch.
Yeah, he hit some game winners for us, like multiple game winners in a season. And that was the same season he kicked the Cowboys' record for longest field goal. Like, that, like, man. What a funny guy.
Shout out Brett Maher.
Yeah. Are we, what do you want to talk about next? What are we getting into?
What are we getting into?
Just want to skip to the top 3?
Well, what's after fantasy? It's top 3, isn't it?
It's usually college football, but I feel like our draft talk could kind of substitute it.
I have something to say because we did play our biggest rivalry of the season. So
oh yeah, this is fair enough.
The third Saturday in October, rivalry renewed as of last year when Tennessee won the game off a game-winning field goal. And what do you call it? Chase McGrath will never have to buy a drink in Knoxville ever again in his life. Shout out the knuckleball for the win. But in this game, we actually entered halftime up 20-7, and it's because Joe Milton looked pretty good in the first half. And honestly, throughout this whole game, Milton had a top 2 game of the season for him. There was the Virginia game in week 1 where he had 4 touchdowns but still missed some throws, and there was this game where, again, he missed a couple throws, but for the most part he looked much better. He threw a deep ball touchdown on the first drive. Now, it was an overthrow. Squirrel White had to completely extend to get this one, but bless you.
Thank you.
But he did good timing on the muting the mic right there, by the way. That's called it's called reflexes.
Face.
Oh well, whatever. Squirrel White deep ball touchdown on the first drive. James Pierce, the guy I talk about every week, had a strip sack in this game, and in fact, watching this game, I like J.C. Latham a lot as a tackle prospect this year, as tackle 3 and the best right tackle in the class, because J.C. Latham, the pressure that James Pierce was getting when lined up on true freshman Caden Proctor versus when lined up on J.C. Latham, astronomical difference. And James Pierce is a guy who wins every which way. Speed, power, bull, swim, whatever. He's got like every pass rush tool in his bag, which is crazy because he's only a sophomore. But he's got every pass rush tool in his bag. And Latham honestly locked him down for the most part, without help. Caden Proctor, with tight end help, was still getting abused by James Pierce. J.C. Latham was locking him down. So, a great game for J.C. Latham, and it makes me like him a little more as a prospect going into this draft class. But unfortunately, we collapsed in the second half. Defense let Bama back into this game, and the offense did nothing to help it. Play calling was not great. Joe Milton didn't look quite as good. We weren't targeting Squirrel White for some reason, who had an incredible first half. We just decided we weren't going to target him in the second half, and we lost. We lost 20-34. We did not score. We got shut out in the second half. Didn't score at all, and we let up 27 unanswered points. So got outscored 27-zip in the second half. So good game for Alabama. Good game for Jalen Milroe. And Jermaine Burton is awesome. Wide receiver, Alabama. Jermaine Burton's fantastic. And that's all I have to say for college football. I don't like it. USC lost again, but it was to Utah, so none of us are surprised. Like, that should have been... That's chalk.
Yeah.
Like, Utah owns them. Let's be real. So... and then Cam Rising is done for the season. That was announced. Unfortunately, Cam Rising will not play for Utah this year. He probably... He's been playing college football since the Eisenhower administration, and he's probably going to get a medical red shirt and be back next year. So... I'm so tired of seeing Cam Rising play football, but I bet Cam Rising and Utah are synonymous at this point, so it's kind of fun.
Let him ball.
But yeah, let that man cook next year, I guess. But I don't think we need to. And then I mentioned earlier, but UNC did lose to 1-win Virginia, 2-win Virginia now. But the team that Tennessee beat the shit out of in Week 1 at Nissan Stadium just beat UNC this past weekend. So less than ideal, but. Nothing else. I mean, Penn State lost to Ohio State, and my guy, the guy I hype up quite often, Drew Aller, did not look great in this game. I will be honest.
Not a damn thing.
Missed a lot of throws, missed a lot of easy throws, but also not a lot of separation for the Penn State wide receivers because they did lose Mitchell Tinsley and Parker Washington to the NFL this offseason, so it makes sense. But yeah, we can move on now to the top 3.
Top 3 of the week.
Video games.
Whoa.
I've
got like 2 for sure.
I've got 1 for sure.
Okay, so I'll start with my first one. Relatively recent game. It just it's a sequel to a game that was my favorite game, and it's gone far enough that I'm ready to give it up to the new one. It is Tears of the Kingdom.
Yep.
Big Zelda fiend. Got a big Nice little scenic displate. This is another thing we were doing on that Discord call. We started looking at displates.
Yep.
But nice Zelda display here. Love me some Zelda.
Gorgeous.
Oh, I also have the 30th or 35th year anniversary Game & Watch Zelda game right here where you can play the first Zelda.
Fuck yeah.
Big Zelda fan. Love Tears of the Kingdom. It is Zelda at its best. I wouldn't mind a little bit return to formula. I would love a new 2D Zelda to come out. But Tears of the Kingdom for sure is in my top 3.
And this is not going to be in any particular order, but this game I don't think has aged incredibly, but it's a game I've put so much time in, and a game I've had so much fun with, and a game with such rich lore. Skyrim's got to be in my top 3, even though the gameplay is relatively shallow. If we're being honest, it is massive in its presentation and just I don't really know how to describe it, but it's a very picturesque game, I suppose. Like every time you stop walking, you could take a screenshot and it would look awesome because the landscape is so cool, and there's fucking dragons, and you're half dragon because you have the soul of a dragon but the body of a man, like, cool shit, right? And it's a fun game.
Pro-trans game? I don't like that.
And with mods as well, which I've always played with mods because the game is just better that way. I've put so much time into this game, and it's time that I've enjoyed. So I'm going to say Skyrim has to be in my top 3.
Yeah, I've actually never played Skyrim, but it's a game I hear a lot about, so I'm not surprised to see it in the list. My number 2, this is the game I would assume I've played the most of. I think the first time I played it would have been 2011. Yeah. And it's Minecraft. I played that game like no other. Played it with friends, which is the best way to play it, obviously.
Of course.
I would love to do some Minecraft like co-op stuff at some point or multiplayer stuff with people down the line on the channel, but we'll see how things go. Yeah. If I could find that out somewhere. But Minecraft, another game you mentioned mods, definitely had to mod up Minecraft a lot. If you're playing single player, you got to be modding it up. But yeah, Minecraft since 2011. I mean, I remember when horses got first added to that game, freaking the fuck out, because I go to class and a friend of mine had played it before I had the chance to actually play it. Yeah. And I was like, dude, what the fuck? What are the horses like? And he's like, dude, you gotta hop on them and they kick you off, and you gotta hop on them again and they kick you off, and you gotta hop on it again, and then eventually they let you ride them. And I'm like, oh, dude, that's crazy. Yes. But yeah, Minecraft, just hours alone. I wish I could see how many hours I put into Minecraft because it would be absurd.
My number 2, and this one is the one I am most ashamed of by far, because this game is not good. But it's another one that I dumped so much time into because I did enjoy it so much. It's my favorite. I'm not one for multiplayer games for the most part. I've always been more of like a give me a story or give me an RPG, give me something I can put my hands on and make my own.
Agreed.
But there's just something about so the game, I'll say the game is Overwatch.
Oh, okay. And that was not what I guessed.
There is something about the main character complex that you develop when, 1, you have crippling ADHD, and 2, you're a Genji main. Those two things put together should be illegal, because when you have those games where you are just going off, you feel like Jesus. There has never been a multiplayer game that has given me, or any game really, that's given me a bigger head when I'm having a good game than Overwatch. No pause.
It gives you head?
No pause. Because even recently playing Overwatch 2, after having not played Overwatch in a long time, I think I dropped a 50 piece as Genji playing ranked with some of my friends, and we lost the game. But I still felt great because I'm like, I just dropped 50. I don't give a fuck. Like that kind of feeling. And it's like I have to stop myself from playing, because if I do play and I'm playing well, I'm gonna be a dick. Like, I don't know what it is about that game in particular, but I just can't help it. And so I don't play it anymore.
Yeah.
It's a game I put so much time into where I'm like, okay, I gotta mention it because it's my favorite multiplayer experience ever. And it's a terrible multiplayer experience.
I don't know how to articulate this well because I've never played Overwatch, but I did remember looking up because this was like a big thing on the internet, talked about a lot. Me and a friend were curious, so we did look up Overwatch porn.
Yeah, I figured that's where you were going because
it's just like, and I'm what grade am I in? I'm in like 7th grade, and I'm just like.
The game came out the summer between 7th and 8th, so probably 8th grade.
Okay.
Yeah, probably around 8th grade.
But yeah.
In fact, I remember before I even had the game, I was watching somebody stream it, and I'm just thinking like, this streamer I was watching ended up being a pedophile, which was brutal. Like, this was my favorite like YouTuber.
Oh, speaking of Minecraft.
Yeah, well, no. Speaking of what's going to be my third game that I'm going to mention later, because that's what he mostly did.
Side note, it was Widowmaker and Tracer.
Yeah, that sounds about right. But
and it was the first one that popped up, and Widowmaker was packing. I'll say that as well.
But this was I was watching the stream, and somebody he was streaming with, she was like, "Don't look up Naked Diva." So I looked up Naked Diva.
I don't even know what Diva looks like normally.
She's the one in the mech suit.
I'll look her up.
Oh, brother.
No, I'm not just normally.
There is no such thing as just no. You're gonna find something, even if you just search up Diva. It's d.va, but it's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, never. Oh, it might have been. Hold on. Diva. Let me see what Widowmaker looks like.
She's the one with the purple skin, or the blue skin, I guess.
Okay. I was right when I said who it was in the video, but
okay.
Regardless.
You remember that vividly, Scardy for life?
I was just like, it was the first time I'd seen anything like animated like that, and seeing them give body parts to characters that don't normally have those body parts.
Yeah, I know what you mean because I think I have seen. Yeah, I think curiosity got the better of me once, and I went down the rabbit hole. I think I saw that same thing.
One, and then one that I had also seen for a different game. I didn't even look this up. I was just scrolling Google Images.
Yep.
And I just saw Minecraft Steve and Alex with a blocky.
Oh my god.
It's just like, what are we doing?
Oh my god. That was a YouTuber named Futuristic Hub who was literally just posting porn on YouTube, just animated Minecraft sex, and it was and those videos didn't get taken down for like years. And I some YouTubers I subscribed to like made remember like the 2016 era of YouTube where it's basically like call out content where it was like, this guy right here fucking sucks, but it was like some people made those videos about Futuristic Hub because it was literally just porn. It was just straight up.
That's wild.
That he was just allowed to post. And by the way, these videos were getting recommended to kids because his other content was mostly geared towards kids. So when he would post, like even when it wasn't like full on porn, it was like clearly like fetish, like you know like them Cartoon Network animators, like that episode of Teen Titans Go where Beast Boy is a cow and he's like, "You get milk," and
I didn't watch Teen Titans Go, so not really.
He's not a girl. That's not a girl cow. And also, Wonder Woman in particular got 3 blasts to the face, whereas Batman and Superman only got 1. So do what you will with that information.
The episode of Young Justice when the character Black Lightning is like fighting some other electric hero, like villain, I mean, and she's like, "I can handle lightning," and he's like, "You've never had black lightning," and he blasts her.
Also, a side note, the characters on Young Justice were definitely fucking, like, no question about it.
Yeah.
I think I once watched a video when I was like 13 or 14 on like which Young Justice characters have had sex with each other.
Dude.
Like plausibly or like.
I read Young Justice fan fiction. I was on Wattpad.
Yeah.
Reading Spitfire. fanfics. That's Artemis and
Fuck
Wally West.
yeah.
That's their like ship name.
Yeah.
I also read some Percy Jackson fanfic. I was
Hell no.
a fanfic reader as a kid.
50 Shades of Grey is basically just Twilight fan fiction.
That's
so
how
if
it started.
If there's published fan fiction out there, fan fiction's valid. You can read fan fiction.
Yeah.
You read what you
It's
want.
just funny looking back and reading them. It like thinking about what I like had read.
Yeah.
It's just one because one of the Percy Jackson ones was like a writer like insert character as the main one, and they felt the need to like explain why the all of the demigods were around the same age, and they were just like, well, there was one party, and all our parents were just fucking. They all went into a room, and I was like, we didn't need this. You didn't need to explain it.
Didn't need this. We could have had a much different.
I could have just inferred, I guess. I could have filled in the gaps myself. I didn't need you to articulate this.
No, we didn't need that. But
Yeah.
So what's your third game?
Yeah.
Diverted course a bit here. What's your third game?
I'll go with. I think this was it's not the first video game I ever actually played, because the first one I played was some disc game on a PC when like I was like 4. That was like my sister had a computer. We were in her room. I can't for the life of me remember what it was, but it was like a cartoon rabbit and some other characters, and you go to different worlds. I want to do my best to find out what that game was.
Yeah.
And revisit it for a video. I think that'd be fun. But the first video game on like a console that I played was Mario Kart Wii, because we got the Wii that Christmas.
Hell yeah.
So I'm gonna go with Mario Kart Wii. I like party games. I almost went with Mario Party, but I decided to go with the first thing I'd ever played. So I went with Mario Kart Wii, which I am playing on stream now. But that's gonna be the next Wii Vault. I'll be playing that on stream, trying to unlock everything.
Wii Vault's gonna move mountains, by the way.
Dude,
That's gonna be incredible.
I miss games where you can just like unlock characters and like different maps and stuff like that, like in a like challenging way, and you're not just paying for it. Like, oh,
yeah,
I miss that.
I miss being able to, like, what do you call it? Like the cosmetics in the Force Unleashed. You know what I mean? You'd have to go looking for them, or you'd have to go looking for your upgrades, or you gotta
find
the game to
the
get certain
crystals.
Like, if you beat the game with the dark side ending, that's how you get like the Sith Stalker armor. If you beat with the light side ending, that's how you get like the entombed robes or whatever, like the robes that you get when you're laid down to rest as a Jedi. Like, that shit's awesome. Give me games like where they do that again.
Diddy Kong is my favorite character from Mario Kart Wii, and you have to unlock him. I'm looking forward to unlocking him and having that reward, and then playing with him afterwards.
Yeah.
Miss that. Bring it back.
Would feed families.
Oh my God, would it?
Yeah, I hear you. That's a great choice. That is.
I'm gonna go with Mario Kart Wii.
That's one of my favorite games of all time, for sure. It's phenomenal. I have a really hard time deciding which in particular this is. I'm just going to say the Pokemon franchise.
Okay, that's fair.
If I had to say specifically, I'm going to say Pokemon Black 2, because that is my favorite of the games. But in terms of like impact that the games have had on me, like Platinum was the first one that I played, but really like the Generation 5 games, Black and White, Black 2 and White 2, are the ones I probably have the most fond memories of. And so that's probably where I'm going with this. But overall, like, in terms of, you get this, it's just you and your team of 6, and you against the world, and just go out and have fun, man. Catch whatever you want to, build your team however you want to. There's many different ways you can play it. We know because we're going to play it a certain way.
Yes.
We're going to be doing a Nuzlocke co-op here pretty soon. Tomorrow, in fact, probably today for when you're watching this. So,
yeah, probably.
More than likely.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I think so.
We'll be on a call together, just playing our own game, just talking. We'll try to keep, in the same.
Yeah, stay in the same area. Like, don't go. Yeah. We should do gym battles together. Like, once one of us gets like the first gym leader or whatever. It's like, don't spend 3 hours grinding. Like, let's go.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see.
Because I don't want my characters to die, so I might spend 3 hours grinding.
Well, I'll spend some time. Well, that's what the speed up button is for. Don't spend really as much time. There has to be some threat of danger, or else the Nuzlocke loses all flavor.
Well, there's always going to be that threat.
I guess it's Gen 1. You're right. But
Back when it was hard.
Back when this shit was.
Back when they weren't holding your fucking hand. I actually do kind of agree.
Well,
like to an extent.
Granted, the new games didn't really hold your hand as much. You get to kind of just do your own thing. You get to walk into a gym leader that's way harder than your team's ready for.
Oh, I think that's why I stopped playing the
scale.
newest one, because I hit the ice one way before I should, and I was just like, fuck it. I just haven't played since.
You haven't beat it at all or anything?
I rarely beat games.
Okay,
like even before, like this Wii Vault series is causing me to like double the amount of games I've actually completed. I rarely honestly complete games.
I was not aware.
I get my attention span, dude. I'm like ready to start some new shit.
I'm with you. I mean, I haven't beaten many games lately. Like, I still haven't even gotten past Act 2 on Baldur's Gate because I've made like 7 different characters.
Big fucking fan.
I've made a bunch of characters, man. I love the character creation. I love the role playing. I love the lore. You know what I mean? All that shit interests me more than actually completing an adventure.
I want to see what that Mind Flayer's mouth does.
There is a sex scene with a Mind Flayer. I don't know if you're aware. There is actually, like, I think that's in the game somewhere. There's a sex scene with everything in this game. You can fuck one of your companions as a bear because he's a druid and he turns into a bear. You can fuck the bear.
Damn.
There's bear fucking in this game. So
Chris Olave arrest footage.
Oh shit. It's huge.
Super cooperative.
Yeah, that's what I heard, is that he was, very complicit with what was going on. So.
Hold on. One of the quotes, Olave, I play for the Saints, man, officer, and?
Yeah, that's about the response you should have when somebody says something along those lines.
Dude, I ain't gonna lie though, if I was arresting somebody and they were like, I play for the Cowboys, I'd be like, what's your name?
Yeah, it depends on who I'm arresting.
Armstrong? Like, you're free. You can go. Fucking, like, I don't know, Lupke? Alright, buddy, you gotta do your time.
Yeah.
Shout out to Lupke, good fullback.
Like, any Titans player over the last few years, or at least this year, if it was like, hey man, I'm Tyjae Spears. I'm like, oh, sorry, hey, here's $500 to get you home safe. But if it was like, hey man, I'm Andre Dillard, I was like, he's resisting, and
oh my god, dude, what Niners fan? A Niners fan cop to Jake Moody.
Christian Fulton, he's got a gun.
Dude, yeah, Niners fans to Jake Moody if he had to get arrested.
I feel like Jake Moody's gonna have a Daniel Carlson career arc.
I texted you that. I thought it'd be
You did, and I mentioned Daniel Carlson because you mentioned.
Yeah, you mentioned the exact name, but I was like,
you mentioned
dude,
the like gets cut for underperforming but plays well somewhere else. I'm like, yeah, he's gonna be Daniel Carlson. Like, I feel like there's a
for
good
sure
shot of that happening.
It's a matter of time.
In fact, I was on, like, I was one of the first to say, like, no, the Vikings should not cut Carlson after, just a rookie being just a wee bit nervous in his first game. But that's what they did, and then he didn't miss another kick the rest of his rookie year. Is still one of the best kickers in the league. But yeah, I think I like Moody long term. It's just sometimes like some kickers into the league, they're not quite what you want them to be. Cade York is sitting on the Titans practice squad right now after hitting a 58-yard game winner in his first career game last year for the Browns. So shit happens,
Shit does happen.
Shit happens.
But we gonna get into what we're on?
What we're on. Boy, do I have news for this segment. As you guys know, I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I'm doing my my top 50 albums of the year of 2023. In the last week, I've listened to 20. And they're all like fantastic. So I'm going to just name off some of the ones I've listened to recently. I've listened to this one is one of my favorites so far this year. Spoiler alert. Beloved Paradise Jazz by McKinley Dixon. This is a jazz rap album. It definitely feels like it scratches a similar itch to like what Kendrick Lamar does for me. And I love Kendrick Lamar. So I love this.
You would.
What's that supposed to mean, buddy?
You just got that vibe, bro.
What's that supposed to mean, brother?
You just got that purist energy that a Kendrick Lamar fan does.
I do love me some Kendrick Lamar. We have Oh Monolith by Squid. What do you call it? Last year, both Black Midi and Black Country New Road released an album, and Squid did not. This year, neither of those bands have released an album, and Squid has. And Squid somewhat scratches a similar itch to, kind of between almost what Black Midi Scratch is and what Black Country New Road Scratch is. It's all jazz rock, but it's three very different flavors of jazz rock. But so I mentioned a jazz rap and a jazz rock album so far. So I like albums.
Do you like jazz?
You like jazz? I like jazz in 2023. I feel pretty strongly about jazz. Very, very good album. I liked it overall. It was nice. 8 songs, like 40-something minutes, so it doesn't demand too much from the listener. Very good. I listened to the new Tizo Touchdown album. Tizo Touchdown, was on Tyler the Creator's album a couple years ago, and this year he was on Travis Scott's album and Drake's album. You good?
Yeah. I was like, I'm gonna get progressively more moany.
It's called How Do You Sleep at Night, and it features some really nice songs. One of my favorite songs of the year is on this album. It's called Neighborhood, and I think I told you about it the other night, didn't I? Or
probably.
No, maybe.
I don't know.
I was talking to my friend Cole about it last night before I started streaming. That's what it was, because it was just him and I on the call at that time, so I was talking to him about it. But Neighborhood.
Cheating motherfucker.
Alright, whatever, buddy. Neighborhood is a song about, being from a neighborhood, except maybe not the best one. And, you're a little on edge. You're a little mistrusting of the neighbors in your neighborhood. And I don't mean that, I don't mean neighbors as a substitute for something else, by the way. I need to make that abundantly clear. I mean that.
No, we know how you. Know what you are.
No. Stop the camera. Stop the camera.
I will not upload this. I will not.
Nope. I'm deleting the footage right now. It's over. It's a song about. I think he mentions, asking your neighbor for help later. Hey, get down, handsome. Okay, I give up. You see this motherfucker?
Yeah, I see him.
Yeah, I bet you do see him. Little guy. He's just a little guy.
Just starts humping Grookey.
Can have him, whatever. I bought that
Let him have
on
a little
date,
fun.
and then I never saw that girl again afterwards.
That's me with my skincare products.
Yeah. I do love my Grookey though. Let's see, what else have I got? Hey! Stop knocking shit over. We
just look over. He's cooking meth.
Yeah, he just knocked my charging brick over. He's gonna make a shit ton of noise with it here in a second. I'm gonna have to move it. This new album from Ana Frango Elétrico, I think is how you say her name. She's Brazilian. Brazil mentioned. Brazil numero uno. Brazil mentioned. Yeah. New album, really cool. It's a little funky. It's a little flavorful. It's got some nice bass riffs in it. It's pretty nifty. I liked it. It's pretty nice. Sampha released a new album called La Haye. And so far, I've listened to it a couple times. I am yet to really come around to it. I do find it a bit boring, and the songs to be a bit samey. And I hope I come around to it, because a lot of people I know really love this album, and I want to like it, right? But I'm not going to force myself to just love it. If I don't feel that way, I don't feel that way. We'll see where I go. Census Designated by Jane Remover. Jane Remover was featured on the Underscores album that I mentioned a few weeks ago, and I might like this Jane Remover album even more than the Underscores album. It is fantastic. It's
well, don't give away the whole.
No. I'm not gonna. It's
number 50.
Jane Remover, Census Designated. No. This is gonna be way higher than that.
Number 12.
This album is phenomenal. It's very shoegazy, and of course, I love shoegaze.
Yeah, you did mention it.
I do enjoy me some shoegaze. I know Gabe's getting into shoegaze. I should send him this album. He'll probably like it.
Big shoegazer.
Yeah, and this one, it's a bit more, demands a bit from the listener. It's a little over an hour long, and it's 10 songs. So, on average, it's 6 minutes per song here. And there's one.
Damn.
That's not really that bad. To be quite honest with you, because I've listened to.
It's the other end of the spectrum of the SoundCloud era of 1 minute rap songs. I'm
gonna run through these, just a couple of these really quickly. The new Reverend Kristen Michael Hayter album, and Kristen Michael Hayter, Kristen Hayter has gone by another name in her music career called Lingua Ignota. She released an album a couple years ago called Sinner Get Ready. I don't think it was either last year or 2 years ago. And Sinner Get Ready was fantastic, but wasn't really my flavor. And I think this one's a little more my flavor because it's a little less abrasive than that album was, because that album was very like opera inspired. It was very, buddy. It was very, but it was very. I don't really know how to describe it. It was very loud, and it was very theatrical, but in like a very disturbing sense almost. And it was not my flavor. This one isn't necessarily either, but I do think it's a bit softer. It's a bit more consumable for the average listener, and I did quite enjoy it. So, Saved by Reverend Kristen Michael Hayter, good album. Hell Mode by Jeff Rosenstock. This is a pop punk ish album, which is a genre that does not have a lot of flavor to it normally, but this album is fantastic. So it's nice to see somebody in the lane doing this. Let's see. I've listened to the new Genesis Owusu album. Genesis Owusu actually opened for Paramore when I went to go see them, and so I've heard a couple of these songs. Shut the fuck up! I'm gonna fucking kill you. No. And this album is fantastic. I love it. I just listened to it again today, and I listened to an album that was released earlier this year by King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard called Petro Dragonic Apocalypse, and the title's way longer than this. I'm not saying all of it, and it's pretty good. So I'm gonna leave it there. But I mean, as all of this was just this weekend, by the way. All of this was this weekend, so I did some homework for this video, and
yeah, for this.
I'm keeping. Oh, also The Patience by Mick Jenkins, and The Lamb as Effigy by Sprain, which is another one of my favorite albums this year. I love The Lamb as Effigy. It's an hour and a half. It's an hour and a half long. That's probably about where it's gonna rank. Probably a little higher than that, but it's
Call my shots.
It's an hour and 36 minutes long. It's 8 songs. So
dude, I'm gonna know your top 50 before you do.
This one is very. It's a little Swans. It's a little Daughters. It's even a little bit Slint. I think on the first song at least, I get some Slint vibes here, but I think Daughters without the allegations, and also Swans without the 90-year-old frontman. So with a little more dynamic vocal range here as well. So I do like this album a lot. In fact, in the last song on the album, he repeatedly says, hang on, let me see the exact words. It's like, I can't sing if you're looking at me, I think. Yeah, okay, the lyrics aren't showing up, but
stop.
And he
I can't sing.
He says it like repeatedly for like the last 10 minutes, but his vocals are constantly changing up throughout the whole thing. And it's a very, like, this album is not going to be for everybody. It's not even going to be for most people, but I love this kind of shit. So I've taken up most of the time here with the.
No, dude, if you're passionate, go off.
But yeah, do you see this motherfucker?
Yeah, dude, he's trying you.
I got a spider cat in here. What the fuck is that? Hey, buddy, are you climbing? Are you climbing? Come here, baby. Come here. Come here, handsome. Okay. Oh, Bowie update. One last thing. Bowie update. Bowie. So I think I mentioned in the podcast last week that he started sleeping in my bed again. But he slept between my legs for the first time in a long time 2 days ago, which he almost never does anymore.
Right.
So
remember that.
First time in like 2 months that he has slept between my legs, which is where he used to sleep every night when he was a little baby. So that was very sweet. I was very cute, and I was very happy. I was very, very happy. And that's it. I think but yeah, what I'm on. It's been music, and it's been a shit ton of it, and I'm in love with it.
Dirk's a little more visible now.
Hi, Dirky Poo.
He's popped his head out. Dirk. Please.
Hi, baby. He's so cute, man.
Right. So what I've been on, I got a PS5.
Did you get a game with this PS5?
Just to play Spider-Man.
Just to play Spider-Man.
I mean, I've gotten some other games on it since, but mainly I've just been playing Apex again. I haven't played in a while. Got back on 2 games.
It's
right
cross-platform. Let's run it. It's cross-platform.
Yeah.
Let's run it. Yeah, let's run it. I'll reinstall.
All right, we'll run it.
We'll run it.
We'll run some duos.
Yeah, let's do it.
I mean, I'm down.
I ain't no bitch. Yeah, I'm down. I'll run it.
I can't do it tonight, but we can do it later.
I gotta reinstall anyways, and it's like 100 and something gigabytes. Yeah, we'll figure it out. We're not doing it tomorrow night either because we have other plans tomorrow.
Yeah, we had a different game. Hey,
different game.
Yeah, look out for that. Yeah, Spider-Man 2 has been great. Sometimes I get annoyed, like with the combat, because sometimes I feel like the parry and the dodge, it's not as responsive as I would like it to be. I'm like, what are the windows to hit these? But then I remember that I'm playing on the highest difficulty.
Oh,
so.
that'll do it.
I streamed.
Is it similar to the first game in terms of like the parry windows and whatnot?
I don't remember. I played the first one, but it was like a while ago, so I don't remember too well. But I streamed it twice. Nobody watched, so I just started playing by myself. But yeah, then I'll get back to streaming Mario Kart.
Yeah, people probably just didn't want spoilers. It's probably why nobody was watching the stream.
Maybe. But I'll get back to streaming Mario Kart. Probably Thursday is when I'll stream Mario Kart again. But that I'm about to start the Green with Evil arc in Power Rangers, which is one of the best arcs of all time. It's when Tommy, the evil Green Ranger, pulls up, which is iconic. It's probably the most iconic thing of Power Rangers. Probably the only thing that's really transcended outside of Power Rangers is that. Oh, for my birthday, I got some books.
Got some books? What we got?
Got some books. This is the one I'm starting off with. We got the Art of War.
Boom.
Classic.
So you gotta start quoting that like during football games. You know what I mean? Like when you see a really good play call, you gotta be like, "The sun rises in the east."
I haven't read a line like that
whatever
yet.
Sun Tzu says.
And then there's this book. You see that thickness?
I see that thickness.
That's a thick ass book. It's just a book about Aristotle and all his stuff.
You should get Industrial Society and Its Future by Ted Kaczynski.
I'll add to the list because and the other one I have
Yeah.
is Conversations of Socrates. It's just got a whole bunch of
Wonderful.
philosophy books. Big philosophy reader.
Hi. Excuse you. Somebody wanted to join us.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I've been on. No, I think that's it.
Okay. Good shit though.
Yeah.
You enjoying the new Spider-Man? I take it then. You having a great time.
Good time.
Have you gotten the symbiote yet?
Yeah, dude.
Hell yeah.
It's always fun when anytime the symbiote story happens, you just see symbiote Peter ruin all of his relationships with everybody and his reputation.
Hell yeah. I really wish the game came out on PC at the same time. It's gonna be like another few years before we get it. I will play it someday though.
Just drop a quick band.
No. Oh my god, actually, I forgot to mention this during the personal check-in, but I do need to mention this because, again, I bought a car and I ended up reactivating my old policy with Geico, so I'm paying about $200 a month for car insurance. When I was shopping around for insurance, let me tell you what I found.
Did you find like a $10 covers nothing insurance?
No, that's what I wanted. Like $10 gives you minimum legal coverage and that's it. No, I found start this policy today with a down payment of $1,786. Now you might be thinking, oh, surely that's a paid in full. No, that is your first month. And then the 5 following months are monthly payments of $1,057. My 6th month premium is less than that down payment, and I'm still paying too much. And
you got to look into what they actually cover.
Everybody else would have been over $300 for bare minimum legal coverage.
Yeah.
So reactivating my old policy and paying barely over $200 was the right move. Mm-hmm. Plus, I don't need to make a down payment as well. It's just the regular month's payment. So that's what's good.
Yeah, I had to do down payment because I had to switch health insurances.
Yep.
Kind of.
I ain't handsome. So
yeah,
I was talking to you, by the way, not the cat. But yeah, I guess hi Bowie as well.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding. I was talking to both of you, of course.
Of course.
But yeah, like that is like over almost $7,000. Actually, $7,000 after the monthly payments. $7,000 over the course of 6 months. You got me fucked up.
All the way.
No.
All the way fucked up.
Hard pass. So Yeah, that should
I
not be
mean
legal.
that one
I don't
month
care
is
where
more
you
than the
drive.
down payment I had to make for health insurance.
Yeah, that 1 month is more than my entire 6-month premium. Or excuse me, the down payment is more than my 6-month premium currently.
Yeah.
So no, hell no, never in a million years. It shouldn't be legal to charge that much for car insurance. Like that's fucking ridiculous.
I mean, I guess it could be legal because you're not forced to, but
that's
it's
what
like,
I'm saying. But like,
what do you cover?
What do you even like?
You have to cover absolutely everything. You got to be like
not only
willing to pay my bond if I get a DUI.
Not only that, you have to be willing to bring me back to life via necromancy if I die in a car accident. If I'm paying you that fucking much, like
it's like you better provide a lawyer if I have a DUI. Like that's the type of shit I need if I'm paying that much. Not that I would drink and drive.
Never. Actually, I saw this video. It was like how my keys talk to me when it's 12 a.m. and I'm drunk, and Colton Dowell liked the video, so I thought that was pretty funny. Titans 7th round draft pick, wide receiver, liked the video. So
sign of things to come.
Colton Dowell, known ball knower, clearly knows ball. Avid drunk driver. God's drunkest
Dude,
driver.
one of my sister's friends told my father, who's a cop, that he drives better when he's drunk.
Oh my god. So I streamed Rainbow Six Siege last night, right?
Yeah.
I shit you not, I am significantly better when I have just one shot of a liquor in me.
I believe it.
Because it's a tactical shooter, and I be getting nervous. Because when you're dead, you're dead. There's no respawn. You wait till next round. So you have to get the drop on somebody else, and you have to hit your shots, and you have to hope they miss, right? So I be getting nervous because I'm like, I'm gonna lose this gunfight. One shot of whiskey, I'm good. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like my cognitive abilities are still all there in terms of like having to think about, tactical
I guess I need
positioning.
to drink when I play Apex. Though.
Yeah, so having to think about tactical positioning, like I just, I can still do it. But in terms of like being nervous to get into 1v1s, not nervous. I got liquor in me. You know what I mean? So like 1, maybe 2, I'm perfect. Anything over 2 is there's a trade off. But one shot of liquor, there's literally no disadvantage, and I'm just much better at the game. And last night I played way better than I did the last time I played, which was a couple days prior, because I had that one shot in me, and I was gonna drink the last time I played, and I just decided, nah, I don't wanna. And it kindled me. I had 0.2 KD that night, and I probably had about a 1.0 last night. I played much better, so I still haven't played the game in a while, so it's not indicative of my full strength, my full capabilities, mind you, but I had a much better night last night than I did the previous night, and it's all thanks to the bottle of 1792 that's in my pantry. So, shout out.
Yeah. Trying to think if there's anything else.
You're gonna fall, baby.
Well, I think I'm gonna end this here and head on out.
Head on out to the. Where are you going, Brayden?
Going to hang out with my friend Richard, who's done all my tattoos, none of which are visible right now on camera, but it's done all my tattoos. We're gonna go hang out as a late.
Tattoo showing one of these days. Because you and I both have multiple.
I've got 1, 2, let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I have 7.
Yeah. By the way, can you see my screen when it flickers green? Have you noticed that?
Yes.
Okay, so that is gonna be on the recording. Unfortunate. I'll have to see if I can fix that somehow.
I had the same problem with mine. I don't know when it stopped or how I stopped it.
Well, we have the same camera, so I would imagine.
Yeah, no, that's why I brought it up. That I had the same issue at some point, but I feel like I don't even think I really did anything. It just stopped at some point.
Hopefully this one stops sometime.
I mean, maybe I did
kind of
something.
Light balance or some shit in my settings that I need to change. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But
not sure, but yeah, I had the same issue.
All right, man. Well, you be safe. Don't party too hard. And
just hanging out with one friend, just chilling, get something to eat, sip on a little something, but
sip on a little something. Hey,
just one little drink.
You're old enough to.
Yeah.
So you do what you gotta do, man.
Be the first legal sipping on a little something.
Don't let the folks know that. I just promoted underage drinking when playing Siege. I don't encourage anyone else to do what I do. By the way, I need it to be done. Also, I always drink responsibly.
It should just be 18. Let's be real.
Yes, I'm with you. Especially if you can sign your life away at 17 with parent permission, but you can't have a fucking beer until you're 21. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. But and granted, I know in the military, if you're like deployed overseas and that country's laws are like 18, you can have a drink there, as long as you're not. I think if you're on base, you're still on U.S. soil, so you have to wait till 21. But if you're out in the town, you can drink at 18. You might get in trouble for it, like military trouble, but you're not going to get legal trouble in the country that you're in. Because legal, what the fuck are they going to do? So... But yeah, anywho, that's going to end it for us today. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, next week's video will be up on Brayden's channel. It will be linked in the description, as per usual. And check out his other videos, of course, including the Wii Vaults that we've talked about. We know the next one, that Mario Kart Wii Vault's going to hit like crack.
Yeah.
So.
Well, the next one that's going to be uploaded will be the X-Men Destiny.
That one's going to hit like crack in the opposite direction, so you're going to be very upset about it, and I'm sure...
Spoiler alert, I hate that game.
I think you've told us a few times.
Probably. Yeah, I have.
I think you've even titled a video, "This game is so bad."
Yeah, probably during one of the live streams.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's the first Wii Vault game because I stream them all as I play them.
Yep.
So come in if you want. If I get, eventually I'll probably add in a segment of like fan opinions of the game that I streamed if they come in enough. But I did not finish streaming that one because it was so bad. I was like, I needed to be doing something else. I can't be streaming this. This sucks.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Yeah, we move.
We rise.
But thank you guys so much for watching.
Peace out, y'all.
Love you guys.
Love you, brother.
Love
Talk
you
to you
too.
later.
Yeah, see you, brother.